So you're back again. Another day, another hour, another minute, another second. You have shown up. You should pat yourself on the back. You should feel as if though you have achieved the greatest feat that there was in the universe. You put one foot before the other and you get out of bed. Kudos to you. But there's somebody somewhere who didn't have the strength today, who didn't have the fight, who didn't have the drive, who lost the battle, but they didn't lose the war. And if you're that person who is struggling, to just simply continue the battle, then know that you don't have to do this by yourself. Simple 3 numbers, 9, 8, 8. So all you got to do is dial 9, 8, 8. You don't have to go at this alone. You don't have to fight this alone. You're not the only one who's ever thought like this. This is nothing that's new. It's just another moment. That's another obstacle to give you a chance to defeat on your journey to greatness. So if you're thinking about harming yourself, or you're thinking about harming someone else, please don't. Call the National Suicide Crisis Lifeline and get help with 3 numbers, 988. And do something that not only can you live with, but we can live with as well. So before you make a decision that we have to survive, make one that you can survive with and stay, because tomorrow needs you. Now let's talk football.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Pride Nation, welcome back to another Field Review podcast show where we talk all things Detroit Lions. And today is a day that I'm going to have a little bit of fun. Oh, yes, Patty Luke is going to come out. You see, there comes these moments where I tell people, stop trying to be right and be truthful. Because what you say needs to age well. Oh, there's all kind of news going on. I managed to drop one of my few film studies I'm going to do this season. Got a very good reception. If you ain't checked it out, this is about Jack Campbell. It's going to be a little eye-opening for some, and for others, it's not. But today, people, is a day of conversation that need to be had. It's going to be a little bit different and confusing for a lot of you. But make no mistake that the reality is I got to point out a few things. I got to keep it 100. And before I get into all that, I have to see who's in the building with me. I have to see who's rocking with me today. Let's start off with my man Looney Tune is in the building. Barbary Lion is in the building. My man Gino is in the building. We got my man Detroit Lions Talk with John Kapler in the building. He don't change the name on me. Look at him. He went from just straight John Kapler to Detroit Lions Talk with John Kapler. We got my man BD Buster in the building. Singles Dad Club is in the building. We got my man's, let me go down here, get down here. We got my man Go Lions in the building. Joseph Osteen says, Holmes with another nice move. All parties involved gets a win. Okuda gets a chance to prove himself and not rot on the bench. Total respect for the player. Word gets around good management. Giovanni Lyons in the building. Crum is in the building. Detroit Made Me is in the building. We got my man Steven Westbrook in the building. We got Vash Starwind in the building. Make sure I ain't miss nobody. We got my man Anthony from Roar the Lions UK. He says, time for my favorite Lions channel. Hope you're doing well, Luke. I'm doing excellent. If y'all haven't checked out, they did a full 7-round mock draft where it was like 5 dudes of nothing but love and bromance, and they all made their own picks. I don't want to give away any spoilers. I just want you to check it out. They are linked in the description. All right. My man, Motown Football's in the building. Motor City Thanos is in the building. Lions Fan Express is in the building. Manny DC5 is in the building. Raw Detroit, my man T8. What up, though? Is in the building. My Facebook user. Let's go. Appreciate it. Is in the building. James Tinsley is in the building. Nine Drinks is in the building. Junior Gitta is in the building. David Gerald is in the building. If you are in here, give me some type of emoji, something, so I can know you here and give you a shout out. You know, it is what it is. My man Sean J says, I love Luke's positive Patty. Oh, it's about to get real, Patty. Oh, it's about to get real, Patty. You see, I'm gonna have me some fun today, and I'm going to point out some things that is starting to become an issue. It's starting to become an issue. People, if you have not heard, you know what? I can't do it that way. Sometimes when you get Patty, you gotta crank it up a notch. Yeah, you gotta crank it up a notch. Not too much. Just enough. You know? Just enough. You see, I remember there was a time when I started doing this film study thing, and I made a certain statement. I made a whole video about it. It's a pretty lengthy video. I gave evidence on top of evidence, proof on top of proof. I even had the man hold his ID with his birth certificate and his mother and father with his grandmother there to confirm it was him. I did that. And I was told I don't know jack. I was told I don't watch film. I was told you don't know what you're talking about. I was told worst channel in the world. And that video, to this day, has the most thumbs downs of any video I ever produced. How dare I speak so ill of everyone's favorite player? To be critical and have any critique whatsoever around a player that I simply just spoke on based off of the film. Wasn't my opinion. Wasn't my view. It's what the tape said. The same tape that others allows you to believe could not be seen because it wasn't all 22s. As if though I didn't watch that too. The same thing that people want to point out. And now they turn around and they praise. I mean, my half the table turn. Hindsight ain't 2020. Hindsight is bull. Because you can see it before it becomes hindsight. But even with the mother standing there with the baby photo, I was ridiculed. I was talked down to. I was told I didn't know what the hell I was talking about. Hell, I even got called stupid. And the reality is today, something that I said aged really well. And my critics, you see, it's funny how my critics like to show up and downplay when they gotta eat crow. My critics who like to point out one, maybe two bad takes that probably didn't age well, not because of my fault, but because things happen different. No, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. See, I realized something. There is a certain group of people who hate to see you shine. And that's cool. I get it. Who wants to see you shine like that, right? Who wants to see you sit there and be right? But not too long ago, I made a simple video way before this player was drafted, telling Lions fan, Pride Nation, the Den, and anything in between that Jeff Okudah is not worth a top 10 pick. I was told he's a shutdown corner. He's the best prospect to come out since Brad. There's nothing more inventive than him than the wheel. I mean, hell, even that's having a hard time competing. And guess what? It's funny because Those same people who destroyed that video. And please go back and look at the video. Look at the comments. Those same people I see now celebrating that this man is gone. My have the tables have turned. Said from day one that he's not worth a top 10 pick. That I would not take him in the top 10. I had everyone and their mother to this day still trying to tell me that Isaiah Simmons ain't doing no better. I even said the following statement. I said, I guarantee you this. He will not make it to a second contract with the Lions. What do you mean, Luke? It's not his fault he got hurt. He was hurt when you took him. And even before that, I showed you footage of a game where they just refused to throw a flag as your Michigan receivers decided to destroy him left and right. No flag thrown. Nobody had anything to say. There was no discussions or any type of beefs. There was none of that. Oh, I'm going to take my victory lap because this ain't the only thing I've been right about. When I told people we should have fired Matt Patricia after the first season, I was told, you can't do that, Luke. Well, you know, it seemed to be a trend now. Seemed to be ahead of that one, too. When I told people you can't give him a third year. In season 2, it didn't result. You got to get rid of it. It takes 3 years to build a culture. Dan Campbell comes in his first season and tells everybody to shut up, sit down, have a good seat, eat some popcorn. You want extra butter with that? No. I'm taking the victory lap. Because if you ain't paid attention, the Detroit Lions have traded Jeff Okudah to the Atlanta Falcons. And so far, Lions Nation applauds this. But I'm not letting you off the hook that easy. Oh, no. I'm not letting you off the hook that easy. Here's another fact that I said. I said, hey, if you want to really utilize Okudah, make him a safety. Oh my God. Luke, here you go with these wild takes. You just want to be so different. That's what I heard. That's what they told me. I said, he's not going to be good at corner. I'm telling you right now. There's some things that I've seen on the tape. Luke, when did you become a general manager? You know, I'm just giving you all the BS rhetoric that they like to give out when they're trying to make points that they think you can't argue. I call it the strong faith card. You know how when you be like, I bet y'all can beat you in a dunk contest, and the person be like, but you can't beat Jesus. You know what I mean? That's what it was. Now, I said, very simply, that man was a safety. Nope, nobody wanted to hear me. I said he wouldn't get to the second contract. Nope, nobody wanted to hear me. Y'all wait till I say something wrong, and you wait till my critics come out. They're not going to come out this time. There's too much going on. But I can't let some of y'all off the hook. Because I'm a little disgusted. And I've been a little disgusted with our fan base this offseason. We have been the perfect Family Feud family. Nothing that Brad Holm does gets criticized. It's just good answer. It's just good answer. Nothing he does get criticized. And while I'm sitting up here letting people know, I told you he's a safety. I told you he was not worth a top 10 pick. I told you that, you know, he's got some real serious flaws in this game. I told you Isaiah Simmons would have been a better pick. We could have had Isaiah Simmons playing safety, similar to what Jeremy Chin is doing. I digress. I only go by tape. I take my opinion out of it. I take my emotions out of it. But there's something going on with our fan base. Because those same fans who applauded, they need to understand that this trade was not good for the Lions. What? What you talking about, Luke? Where'd that come from, Luke? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What are you finna do, Luke? What is this? Oh, no. See, we as a fan base shouldn't celebrate. Don't get it twisted. I'm not celebrating. What I'm doing is simply taking my victory lap because I told you what the tape said. And you refused it. And everybody said, we gonna see how this age where he gonna be a Pro Bowl. Oh yeah, that thing. That's funny. He's going to be an all. Oh, yeah, that thing. And he got torched against the Green Bay Packers. Everybody said, oh, that was his first game. He went against the best receiving core and quarterback. Oh, my God. That thing. All you people who praising this trade and giving credit to Brad Holmes, this is not a good moment for Brad Holmes. And don't you dare tell me, oh, here we go with the Brad Holmes talk. This is exactly what the Brad Holmes talk is. Because I want you to understand something. As much as I think Jeff Okudah's not worth a top 10 pick, and as much as I think he probably should have been gone, as much as I think that he probably should have had a position change, I don't think getting a 5th round pick is a win. I don't think because you decided that 5th is great because he's got a Michael Rodriguez. Yeah. He's got James Houston. Yeah, that's still good. That's not good enough. And the reason is he still had 2 years technically on this deal. No, he didn't, Luke. Yes, he did. He had a 4th year, which has been this year, and a 5th year option. And we never explored trying him at safety. Instead, we took a 5th round pick. And I don't know if you've been paying attention, but a 5th round pick for a guy you took 3rd overall don't feel so right. I mean, seriously, if all you were going to get was a 5th, I would have rather cap him. Luke, what you just say, Luke? You going up off that catch up today? Maybe. The reality is I'm going to get more out of him as a depth player, a guy who can play safety, who is a safety. I'm going to get more out of him as a backup corner than the 5th round pick we're going to get. Yeah, he gave us $5.5 million in cap space. But he also gave us dead money. The same money that you claim we don't have. The same money. And I already knew Brad Holmes didn't take Jeff Okudah. This is not news to me. But he re-signed Will Harris. I dare one of y'all to come tell me that Will Harris would be better than Jeff Okudah. I'll wait. See, I'm not going to get nobody to say that. I'm not going to get nobody to talk about that. You got a 5th round pick for a player who could have probably did a little bit more. And this whole idea that, like my man Zaquai, I hope I said that right. He says Harris is a depth guy. Who cares? Okudah could have been a depth guy. That's who cares. Mosley coming off an injury. You're going to probably draft a corner. CJ Gardner, I think, is going to probably end up being, the nickel, playing a little bit third safety in the nickel. But you got a 5th round pick for a guy that you telling me you couldn't find no use for? That's cap. That's cap. I don't say things to be right. I say it because it's the truth. And when you tell the truth, it will age well. And sure, you can name me all the players who was taken in the 5th. You can name me all the players that were taken by other teams. But the reality is, we are still waiting to see the full effect of what we did with our draft picks from the Stafford trade. Iffy, not looking so good. Iffy looking real iffy right now. And they moved him to safety. Just saying. And then, here's the thing that blows my mind. Those same people who told me I was crazy for saying he wasn't worth a top 10 pick, who praises this trade, and no matter what he does, everything is good answer, good answer. It's just not going to work for me. It's just not. You have to be able to look at your team and say, you know what? What can I really come out with? You said $10 million, the money was already accounted for. If you didn't like what you saw, don't pick up his 5th-year option. Another thing that it does is it makes it very clear that the Lions are drafting a cornerback. Why not just wait it out? You know, this idea that, oh, this doesn't make sense, I don't get it. My man Bill Hawkins come in. He go, look, they go to critics. They always come out when the truth come out. You know, you knew there would be a coaching change? Yeah, I did. Not a lie, not a joke. I said he should have been fired after the first season. Yeah, I knew there was going to be a coaching change. You know who else knew it was going to be a coaching change? You did. Because they was in the 3rd year of that damn deal. They hadn't won no more than 6 damn games. And you allowed them to make a pick when you had the 3rd overall pick. Yeah, you knew that. You knew there's going to be a scheme change. That usually does happen when you change coaches. So you knew that too. In a major injury? He's in his 3rd season. He was pretty much healthy this whole season. You guys turned on Amani Oruwariye faster than you did Okuda, but I guess you know what? We all geniuses these days. I mean, what are we talking about? I don't mind the criticism. Now, if he can turn that 5th into gold, maybe he use that to trade up and get something gold, we'll talk about it. But a 5th? Y'all mean to tell me they couldn't come and talk to that man for a pay cut? Y'all mean to tell me they couldn't tell that man, hey, we gonna try you at safety? Nothing? Hey, we want to try you at nickel? Nothing? You didn't have no spot for him? Oh, it's the money. That's the problem. But you re-signing people like Nate Stubblefield? You re-signing Jalen Reeves-Maybin? You re-signing Will Harris? But we talking about money, though. All the other players took pay because Okuda I'm gonna stay on my heel and die on it. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. I'm not asking for anybody to view it my way. I'm asking you to understand things gotta age well. That's all I'm saying. It has to age well. You can't pay cut rookie contract. It's a contract. They can restructure whatever they want. Whatever they want, they can restructure how they see fit. It happens all the time. And to be honest with you, I would have rather they let his ass walk than it just took a 5th. Because you same people who hyping up that 5th gonna be the same people that's gonna be mad when they cut that 5th round pick and then turn around and put him to the practice squad. And this is the thing that scares me most from Detroit Fan TV. He said, this takes away the competition factor. Let's hope Mosley can stay healthy. I shouldn't have to wonder if my guys are going to stay healthy. If you look at your corner, your DB room right now, your safeties is going to be who? Your starting safety is going to more likely be Tracy Walker and Chauncey Gardner. That's my prediction. With an occasional few plays where they move Chauncey Gardner to the nickel as the 3rd safety when they put Kirby out there. Okay? It makes no sense. Luke just complains about everything. Talk about dudes who might not even make the roster. Vet minimum special teams guys. All that costs money. It ain't free. You acting like they came in this mud on a free tryout. That's not what happened. They didn't come in on a free. Every time you cut these players, you're paying dead money, man. Unless they don't have that guarantee part, you're paying dead money. I don't know why this is. We spent over $112 million in free agency. On what? And before somebody go, well, you know what? We eliminated Okuda. Guess what? They still gonna draft a corner. They're still gonna draft a corner. And I don't know about you, but some people come out in 4 receiver sets, 5 receiver sets. And I guarantee you Will Harris makes this team. But no matter what he does, he's untouchable. Great move. A 5th round pick for Jeff Okuda. Great move. Excellent move. Forget the dead cap. No one cares. My man Jack Frost says, now Luke, you know dang well Tracy ain't starting over Kirby. Stop it. I'm gonna stop being petty in a minute, let y'all come in and check me. Y'all know how this works. I'll let y'all come in and check me. I'll let y'all come in and talk to me and tell me what I'm wrong about. I'm open for the discussion. Hell, you know what? Damn that. Let's speed this up. I love to hear the opposition. What am I missing? I ain't got all the answers. You know how my man Kanye West told Sway at the time when Sway was trying to put him up on game? He was trying to put him up on game and Kanye told Sway, you ain't got all the answers, Sway. And not too much long after, what Sway said not only made sense, not only was true, not only was it right, but he had to come back and say, yeah, Sway had the answers.
It's just different.
See how that works? You see how that works? You just gotta just sometimes just put the emotions out of it. And don't get me wrong, I'm still hoping Okuda can have a semblance of a decent career. But you better make sure it's not at safety. Because that'll be another thing I was right about. I put it up there. The link is in the description. I'm sorry, it's in the chat right now. You want to come in and tell me I'm wrong? I'll take a back seat. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm just merely letting y'all know that I only go by tape. I only go by tape. That's going to be my greatest teller. That in history. I just did a film study on Jack Campbell, and I had everybody and their mother hyping up Jack Campbell. And the more I dug, the more I discovered, and I didn't have to dig far. Man can't get off a block to save his life. Might be the worst blitzing linebacker in this year's draft. And my attitude is, just because a player looks like he could be the best at that position does not mean he's the best fit for our team. But everything that Brad Holmes does is 100% Gucci. That's impressive. The reality is this. BD Buzzer said, well, Harris, don't you swear at me. Fans didn't get upset about him getting re-signed. They are excited Okuda's going for a 5th. Really? Before we even tried him at multiple spots. Really? Well, you knew the new regime was gonna get out the old pieces. That man played 25 games, started 22. Y'all probably didn't hear me. He started 25 games. Aiden Hutchinson had more interceptions than him in 17 games. You watched him repeatedly get cooked. I told you it was going to happen. You want to pay $11 million for a backup safety? Yeah. I'm getting all my goddamn money's worth. You already put the money. Some of us went out there and bought Corvettes with 6 cylinders. I don't see y'all trying to go and get the engine switched out. Some of y'all bought that nice, beautiful Silverado and 4 F-150 with the 4-cylinder. and you went and stole somebody's emblem and put down it that it's got a Hemi in it. I don't hear y'all talking about going to get the real thing. Stop playing with me. Sometimes you make a bad purchase. You got to just see it through. You got to just see it through. We never tried them out we didn't give them the shots at the nickel. We didn't give them a shot at the safety. Who's your backup safeties right now? I'll wait. Shout out to my man Craig Bevins in the building. What's going on, brother? Looking spiffy as always.
Just different.
Who's our backup safeties? You already know Chauncey Gardner's going to be there. You already know Tracy Walker's coming back. You know Kirby's going to be there. Who else? Tell me Okuda couldn't be the next backup safety? The link is in the description. You know? Now, at this point, I've got many of the things I wanted to get off my chest. My man Jack Frost said, "No, my Ram got the big Hemi in it." you know I'm not lying, bro. You know those guys that you pull up to, they got the same truck as you, and you know they got a 4-cylinder. They don't even look at you. In fact, they probably got the world's most tinted windows. They don't even want to look at you. Harris can be a safety in a pinch. So essentially what you're saying to me is, David, we need to go ahead and sign you because he's not it. He's not it. No, you know what? I almost forgot about this. Yeah, everybody else's favorite pick, J-Mo. Y'all were all y'all was on a kid's head for being a part of a race. What does it say? Well, I didn't see no heat, no flat. When soon as news broke that Okuda was traded, the first thing J-Mo, Jamison Williams, 12th overall pick, who didn't help you at all, and you still had a top 5 scoring offense. The first thing this dude do is come out and say the following. I'm sorry for everybody who got that jersey, but I need that Uno, man. Yeah, I got a problem with that. I do. I got a problem with that. Bro, you ain't did nothing about you be needing no Uno. I don't want to hear that. You was just on the team with Dog. Now all of a sudden, the news ain't even fully broke. And you out here talking about, I need that number 1. What is wrong with you, bro? This dude, every time I see him, he trending towards Diva. Every time. Let me bring in my first guest. My man Troy's gonna be the first one up because Troy's gonna tell me probably, I don't know if he's gonna tell me I'm batshit crazy, but when guests come in, Troy, you want the music to play so you can talk your stuff while I bring it down a notch? Okay, listen, I'm gonna break it down a notch because when I'm Patty, I need my theme music. Let me ease it out slow. All right, now to my people, I'm bringing in my first guest. This is your opportunity to check me or agree with me or wherever the hell you feel. I am an open book. I am for you. Troy, can you hear me, sir?
Yo, Luke, what's the deal, man?
Let me get you on. Hold on, let me get this up.
All right, let's do it.
We got to take this down. My man Troy. First of all, man Troy out here is dedicated. Y'all don't see the little cool decals in the back. Y'all don't see all the nice. You don't see the nice fresh cut. They don't see it, Troy. Talk to me though. What you got for me, bro?
I think we gave up on him too early, Luke. I think we did.
We did. It's not even close. The dude essentially had a 5-year deal. You figure 4 years plus a 5th-year option, right? The 5th-year option carries a little bit more money, obviously, right? But the reality is this. You never tried him at the position he's good at. And when you actually had him in the box, what do you know? He performed. What? Go ahead, talk your talk. This is your time to be Patty. This is your victory lap, Troy. Troy, talk your shit. Talk it.
I mean, here's the thing. He's played, 20, 25 games in the NFL in 3 years. You know what I mean? And so I was one of those people. I thought Darius Slay was the worst player. I went to the Lions game when they played the Broncos. and it was like 5 seconds left before half. They threw a bomb to Demaryius Thomas. Slay just gets mossed. And I'm just like, dude, Slay is the worst player. Why do we have Slay? Get rid of this guy. He's the worst. So I can't really speak to all the corners around the league. I could just speak to what I've seen in Detroit corners. Like, Slay became Slay in year 5. It took him all the way to year 5. So I know all corners, some corners are like Sauce Gardner, like, boom, they're just like that. But I think some corners, it's year 4, year 5, where they really blossom and become those, big time players,
I look at it like this. And shout out to my man David, who said, "Oh, okay, the Lions gave up on Okudah after 3 years of not earning his paycheck. They didn't give up on goddamn Matt Patricia that fast. Yeah, I know it ended in 3 years, but he should have never even made it to year 3. It's no way after you saw year 1 and year 2 that you said, you know what, year 3 he gonna get better. No, absolutely not. But with Okudah, from what I saw, what the tape said, not what I'm saying. The tape said when they put him in the box as that extra third safety, he performed. He performed. And all I'm saying is if you're giving up on a player, you're telling me you used him in all the right spots. I remember when we took Quandre Diggs, and Quandre Diggs was a cornerback. You remember that, Troy?
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't going so well. And somebody got the right idea to say, let's try him at safety. And what do you know? Pro Bowls, here we come. He's performing. He goes over to go. Then he goes to get traded.
Yeah.
I forgot what the hell we even traded for him. Was it the 5th?
It was something like a 5th. Yeah.
And we celebrated that bullshit then too. Right? I'm not making this up. This is the reality of it. We get so enamored emotionally with general managers that we don't even stop to just say, you know what? Let me take my feelings out of this and look at this objectively. That's all we saying. And I'm not asking him to do nothing different. Now, we praised him for everything he did. He got rid of TJ Hockenson, we praised him. He got rid of Stafford, we praised him. I have yet to hear us be critical of this man. You got a 5th. Who are you taking in the 5th round that's going to give you Slay's? I'm sorry, he got me saying Slay. Damn. Who's going to give you Okudah-esh performance? I mean, keep in mind, while everybody's praising this, Troy, they forget we kept Will Harris, a guy that you did not have to re-sign. You did not have to keep him. You could have just let him go. The same way you let Amani go. Who's going to go over there with the Giants and ball out. I guarantee it's coming. Right? And the reality is you got a 5th. So the only thing that makes me look at this is we don't know what we're doing with that 5th yet. But I'll be waiting. Because I can tell you right now, we got with the Stafford trade, we got Iffy. I don't know how you feel about Iffy, but he's looking real shaky.
Waste of a pick.
Okay, it's suspect as hell. All right, now the next pick that we had was in the form of a first that we used to trade to the Vikings, and we got up there and we took J-Mo. So we don't know what we're gonna get. I know he was hurt when you brought him in. I know you had a top 5 scoring offense and he wasn't on the field. But you know what? Maybe the diva in him is going to perform. Maybe he'll make it to his 2nd contract. Maybe. But okay. And then you got this pick coming up at 18. You got to make that pick count. And now we got to look at the picks that you also get for the TJ Hockenson trade. I'm looking at the big picture here.
Yeah.
Because right now, all I've been hearing is good answer. Good answer. And I'm just asking you, Troy, as a person, you've probably had conversations with other Lions fans. Have you heard anybody be critical of Brad Holmes?
I'm trying to think. I don't think I can think of that. No, it's all pretty much just praise, and he did this great and that great, and
he can't do no wrong. There's no such thing as he did wrong. That's what's throwing me off. Because every time that happens, I'm the only one that look like an a-hole for just pointing out what should be pointed out. If you want to come in and tell me I'm crazy, tell me Troy is crazy, tell me all the people who is looking and saying, look, Okuda didn't work out. You want to tell me all the people, where's all my people that told me Isaiah Simmons ain't doing nothing? Where's all those people at? Okuda's better than Isaiah Simmons. Where's those people at?
I mean, Okuda's making $5 million this year. It's not that much. A 5th-round pick, I would trade a 5th for Okuda right now just to have the depth. You don't know about Mosley. He tore his ACL last year. Is he even going to be ready 100% to go?
We don't. Troy, hold on. No, I know what this is. Hold on, Troy. No, Troy, hold that thought. We gotta do this right. We're gonna do this the right way. You're gonna do that the right way this time. We're not gonna botch this, okay, Troy? We're not gonna botch this. You ready?
I'm ready.
You getting the Patty music. Talk your shit.
I mean, is Mosley going to be ready to go? Because when I was thinking of my depth chart, I was thinking of you got Tracy Walker and Kirby Joseph back there. And then I had Cam Sutton, number 1, Okuda, number 2, and then CJ Gardner in the slot kind of just moving around everywhere. I didn't have Mosley as a starter. That was just how I had it set. That's in my mind, how I was thinking of it, you know?
See,
we'll see.
See, this is the thing, though. We just assume, and it's funny to me because I didn't hear a single Lion fan when I was asking questions and putting up polls and talking to people in DMs, and I never heard a single person say, "You know who I want? I want Emmanuel Mosley." I never heard that. That wasn't a whisper. It wasn't a message in the bottle. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no bird message, none of that. I never heard that name. All of a sudden, he become a Lion, and he's the second coming of Patrick Peterson. How? When? What the hell? Who was talking about him? You can't even listen. I'm gonna show you how crazy. And yes, a video game does not measure the reality of it, but he not even rated high on Madden, so Madden don't respect you. And every Lion fan is high. Great move. We don't even know if he's healthy. And God forbid, fingers crossed, I want for everybody to stay healthy. But if he gets hurt, it's gonna be your rookie cornerback and Sutton. And Sutton, in my opinion, is not a number 1 corner. Kill me for it later. I don't care. I'm not looking to be right. I'm looking to just tell the truth. That's all it is. But I want to try to have the Patty music because he needed to have that. He's bringing up points that y'all going to say is fake. And it's not. It's not fake. We just need to be honest about what is going on here. This is not fake. This is not something that we just made up. Look at this. Is this your king? My number 1 most hated video was Jeff Okuda's not worth a top 10 pick. I ain't even titled my Jack Campbell video that, but you're not gonna like what you're gonna see. I ain't even titled that. I'm merely making the point that listen, y'all like everything he do? I'm married. I don't like everything my wife do. I got kids. I don't like everything my kids do. I got friends. I don't like everything my friends do. I love it. Shout out to my man Randall Flag 606. Said, go ahead and tell your truth, Luke, but you're not right. Okay. I already know how this is gonna go because I'm saving a lot of stuff. My man Zach says, don't criticize Sutton when you're hyping up Jared Davis. Hyping up Jared Davis? Because he was our best blitzing linebacker. He was our best run defender. I'll take Jared Davis over Ellis Anzalone. You're not going to tell me Ellis Anzalone is about that life. And you want to talk to me about Cam Sutton? Newsflash, Steelers don't let good players in their prime go. They just don't. They just don't.
Yeah, I mean, you got the stats up right there. You can look at the solo tackles last year. I mean, 59 for a corner. That's an aggressive tackler for a corner. So, I mean, for you to talk about the safety transition, I think from looking at that stat, it could have been a realistic thing.
See this. My thing is this, right? They're clearly going to draft a corner, right? And my thing is Emmanuel Mosley's coming off an injury. Now, Troy, if you blow your knee out, get ready to suit up. You'll be a lion. But let me point this out. Shout out to Ricky Bob, who says Mosley is more proven than Okuda. Really? Okay. Okay. Question: Luke, has Holmes done more bad than good? Give me a number 60-40. No, he's done more good than bad. My problem is nobody's perfect, and somehow our fan base seems to make him perfect. That's my issue. The only reason I would do 60 good, 40 bad, because I feel that we needed to really address that defense, and the reason we didn't do most of what we could have did this past season was because of that defense. And spare me the sample size when we're talking about an all 17 game season and a team that you lost a tiebreaker to beat you by 48 when you scored 45. Tough. It's just tough. William says, please, Luke, don't pretend JD is better than Alex Anzalone. Okay, I won't pretend. He is. The hell? What the hell does Alex Anzalone do? You telling me you can't upgrade from Alex Anzalone? Stop it. The hell out of here with that. Are you serious? Alex Anzalone, what does he do great? Besides help get people get set. That's it. What does he do great? You gonna tell me he's a great tackler? I'm gonna call cap on that. You gonna tell me he's a good blitzer? I'm gonna call cap on that. You gonna tell me he's a good run defender? Go and look at the Lions' last few years of rush defense, and I'm gonna put cap on that. Get the hell, come on now, stop it. Stop, Luke. He had opportunity. I'm not saying he didn't get an opportunity, John. I don't think Troy is not saying he didn't get an opportunity. What we said is we didn't explore all the options that will give him a full opportunity to be with us when you still technically had 2 years of contract left with him. And now if he goes over there and he balls out with a good corner like AJ Terrell, who I questioned and asked the year he came out, and I said, well, why are we not hyping up AJ Terrell? And everybody's like, no, because he's not better. I'm like, okay. That won't age well too. All the thing I'm pointing out to you is you telling me you got Will Harris, bro. You telling me Okuda couldn't do what Will Harris was doing? That's all I'm saying. Anzalone sacked Lamar Jackson. So did Jared Davis. That's special? He gets sacked a lot. I'm just saying. All I'm pointing out to y'all is I'm getting that Patricia Slay PTSD on your Okuda take. Okuda going for a fifth. I don't know how you can celebrate that. That's a fail of me. Troy, make it make sense, bro.
Okay, yeah. Hear me out here. The Lions are making a big package right now to trade up to the third pick. They need extra picks. They need to stack some picks here because they want Will Anderson, pick number 3. They're going to trade up, so they need some more picks. You know, we're throwing in 4th, 5th. We're going to throw in a bunch of picks at the Cardinals, and we're going after Will Anderson, dude. That's maybe one of the options there.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. If they do that, I would be upset. If they did that, I would be very much. That's a big ass dog. Oh my god, what the hell? Dog? What kind of fucking dog is that?
Doberman.
Ain't that was the dog that he called Hell's Gates Keepers or something like that? That was a big dog. But nonetheless, here's my point I'm trying to make. Okay, here's my point I'm trying to make. Okuda, $10 million a year. Let's see what over the cap say. Sometimes you don't have to go and fight the power. Let's see what over the cap say. Let's see what over the cap say he was making. Let's see. Let's see. Give me a sec. I'm gonna find this man's name. It's got to be here somewhere. Damn, over the cap already added his dead cap money to our. They wasted no time. They already added his man. He wasn't making no damn $10 million. Who said? Bruh, he was not making $10 million. Okay, we're not going to address that. He wasn't making $10 million.
No,
Troy was right. It wasn't $10 million. All right. The thing is this: Okuda did not do what Harris did. Why do you keep saying that? Because Harris is grossly worse. He's worse. Your heart tells you that. Your spirit tells you that. Your physical being tells you that. Will Harris is not a corner. He's not a safety. He's not a lion. And he should not be. He's worse. I had the same argument about Tavon Wilson. He's not good. I would much rather have Jeff Okudah than Will Harris. That's all I'm saying. Will says you can upgrade from Anzalone, but JD definitely a downgrade. Anzalone not a good tackler. He had 127 tackles with a 7.4 missed tackle rate. Don't make me do it, Will. Don't make me embarrass you with real-time film and tape. Don't make me do it. I might give a fuck about no 125 tackles. How many? You know what, Will? Since we talking about numbers, this is why I love stat guys. Since we talking about numbers, let's talk about numbers for a minute, Will. Troy, I might need your help on this one a little bit.
Let's do it.
Okay. Here's what I want to know, Troy. He said he has 125 tackles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he says you can't upgrade. So he does concede the fact that you can upgrade from poor little Alex, right? He concedes that, right? But here's my question. Here's my question to you, Troy. If he got 125 tackles, how many tackles for a loss would you think he got? Because tackles for a loss generally mean you're tackling people behind the line of scrimmage, which generally mean that when teams are running the ball, they're getting tackled behind the line of scrimmage. And sacks mean that you got the quarterback down. But I want to know how many sacks and tackles for a loss, a guy who has 125 tackles because he's a good tackler, and those numbers reflect that. How many tackles for a loss would you say he got?
How many do I think Anzalone had?
If you had to guess.
If I had to guess, 17 maybe.
What if I told you he had 7? Now, Will's here to defend himself. Will.
What's good, Luke? How you doing today?
Will, I am absolutely excellent. Will, you're going to try to convince me that Alex Anzalone is a good tackler because he got 125 tackles. Why he only got 7 tackles for a loss?
Yeah, so multiple things lined up here. So first things first, love when you call me a stat guy. That's great, especially when I'm currently going through the edge class, making sure I'm watching film on each and every one of them individually. That's great there. Second, we literally were just going over Okudah's tackles. So I don't understand how...
Who's going over Okudah's tackles?
You had him pulled up.
I said he played in 25 games and started 22. I only brought those up so you can see the number of games he played. You never heard me say anything. Troy, did I say anything about a tackle when it came to Okudah?
No, I was talking about tackles when I was talking about he could possibly switch to safety.
Yeah.
He had a lot of tackles.
I wasn't talking about no tackles.
Secondly, when we're talking about TFLs, that is entirely scheme-based.
Really? Really? This is fun. Okay. Continue.
It's entirely scheme-based. I want to pull up all the linebackers because it's one thing to look at Anzalone and go, oh, he only had 7 TFLs. Well, why don't we compare that to other linebackers then?
Okay, well, let's do it. You want me to compare it to the other linebackers? What linebackers you want me to compare it to?
I don't know. I feel like there should be a way to pull up.
It is, but I want you to tell me. Who do you want me to compare it to?
I don't know. Let's look at Roquan Smith.
You want me to look at Roquan Smith? Okay, I'll look at Roquan Smith. Let's go look at Roquan. I have no problem looking them up. I want to work for you today.
That way we can see what an all-pro level guy does in TFL.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
And somebody who's making 20+ mil a year compared to 7. You know.
Okay. Well, look, I'm gonna bring up whatever you want me to bring up. Let's bring up Roquan Smith. Doing this over here. Hold on. Make sure I make this nice and big for the people. All right. Now, for the people, let me bring this up. Let me get this off the screen for a second. Will, I love it when you come in. This is what I need. Troy, don't you go nowhere. We need this. This is happening.
Yeah,
Roquan Smith, here he is.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, where we going?
Yeah, so I'm just trying to compare an all-pro caliber, top of the dollar linebacker to what we just re-signed, which is Alex Anzalone.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, top line 18 TFL, 12, 11. There's a reason he's getting the money he is. But then you look at Alex Anzalone, there's a reason he's getting the money he is. And especially when playing in the systems they're playing for. You can notice, especially Chicago versus Baltimore, that Chicago, he had 4 TFLs. But in only one more game with Baltimore, he had 7. Right? Those are 2 different schematics defensively. So of course they're going to result in different defensive outcomes. It's like 2021 and 2020. He has Sean Desai, who's tearing it up in like he's a very very good defensive coordinator. So to me, yeah, it makes sense that he's doing well
Okay.
in those.
Okay,
years.
let me tell you why this is why. No offense to you, this is comical. Okay, no
Hit me
offense to
with
you,
it.
this is comical. First of all, this man got 7 tackles for a loss in 9 games for the Baltimore Ravens, coming in out of an old system into a new system. Let's get that out of the way. And second of all, he got 54 total tackles for losses in his career. You know how many Alex Anzalone got for his career tackles for a loss? How many? How many you think he got tackles for a loss?
What, 16?
16. He ain't never, ever been about that life. We acting like Alex Anzalone running through people. What are we doing here?
But
You
that
let's-
was
no, hold
never
on. Wait a
what
minute. Wait a
was
minute.
said
Wait a
there.
minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We're talking about just the simple things, right? Because you want to try to go and compare Roquan Smith, big mistake, but Roquan Smith
But
to a
I think
guy
that
because he
the-
has 125 tackles. So now
No,
let me get this
wait,
straight.
that
So now
was
let me get this
not.
straight. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You notice I didn't say anything when you was talking.
Wait, because
I didn't
I'm
say anything when
interrupting
you was
'cause
talking.
that's a deliberate mischaracterization of what I'm saying.
Oh,
here,
that's a
man.
deliberate mischaracterization.
Because I said nothing about the tackles. Because Troy is here. He's listening to what we're talking about.
Now watch this, Troy.
I said
Troy.
I want to compare him to an
No,
all
hold
pro
on.
caliber
Wait a minute.
linebacker.
Troy. Now I'm gonna go back because I love when people don't like to remember what they say, but everything is documented. And then we gonna move this along a little bit. Let me make sure I get back to the exact comment that we talking about. Because my exact statement, and I'm pretty sure that my exact statement was that guy is not a good tackler. And your justification for that was the following. He had 125 tackles with a 7.4 missed tackle rate.
Mhm.
Everybody he tackles well past the line of scrimmage. Majority of his goddamn tackles are assists.
So the great
No.
reason,
Wait a minute. You brought up the tackle thing. He is not nobody that's special. The man got 16 tackles for a loss in his career. And then why are we even having this? What are you trying to prove here when you think he can be upgraded? Your words, not mine. What are you trying to prove? These your words. You can upgrade from Anzalone. So what are we talking about?
because you're out here saying Gerard Davis was better.
It's been great. It's been great. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It's been great. What else you got for me?
Yeah. So the purpose of the 125 tackles was not to show that he gets a lot of tackles. It's the amount of tackles he has comparatively to the missed tackle rate, which 7.4% is actually really low for linebackers. And for him to have the most tackles he's ever had with the lowest missed tackle rate he's ever had, that's a huge step up. Great improvement on his end. It's not to say he's infallible, but it's more that he's improved, and to say he's a bad tackler is not only incorrect with the film, but it's also incorrect with the statistics that back up that film.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Was Alex Anzalone worth the money that he got re-signed for? In your opinion? The fact that you even got to do
Probably
that
not.
tells me everything you said.
I don't. I don't like how much he got signed for. If it was
All right,
$5 million a year,
so
sure.
at
but
the end of the day, this is not even a conversation we need to be having. Please talk to me about Jeff Okudah, or tell me why I should be excited for getting a 5th round pick for Jeff Okudah. Tell me something about that, because this right here, this attempt to have a useless and baseless debate for a guy that you agree can be upgraded, for a guy who you don't even like the fact that he got signed, is a waste of energy and time. Tell me about Jeff Okudah. Give me something that's more substance based.
it's not that I don't like that he got signed. I just wish he got signed for a little cheaper. But anyways, I digress. Yeah, Jeff Okudah. I put out a whole Twitter thread leading to last season thing, and it was in my opinion that he could reach a top 20 corner level. Now that would be the max for that this past season, in my opinion, from the tape I had seen, and that was also going and breaking down every single coverage route he had ever taken getting up into last season. After reviewing the film, I think at best he can be a good number 2. From what I've seen in his film. And what worries me is that even in his healthiest season ever, he still got hurt. And he eventually got benched for Mike Hughes. And that, like, I just don't see a potential growth pattern that would make him worth keeping around. Especially when, if we draft a corner, we're 4 deep. And with this move, we're most certainly drafting a corner. And if we're going to
Let's name our quarterbacks. Let's say we cap them, right? You would have had Mosley, Sutton, Jacobs,
Yep.
Okudah, Will Harris. Who else? Oh, McCain. Who else am I forgetting?
Will Harris would be a considered safety slot.
He's considered listed as corner. So let's go with what he's listed as. According to the Detroit Lions website, he's listed at corner. So
he's listed at corner, but he's played his best ball when he's in the slot. So it's when I say corner safety, that I mean the nickel position, the slot position.
That's not the question I got though. That's not the question. We named the corners. Name the corners. Sutton, right? Mosley, right? You'd have still had Okudah. You would have had Will Harris. You would have had Jacobs, and you would have had McCain. And then you draft you a corner. What's wrong with that?
We got too many people.
Too many people where?
At corner, we physically can't put that many people. We can't keep that many people.
We carried more than that last year.
Most teams carry 4 to 5.
I don't care about most teams. We're talking about Lions. They carried more than 6 corners last year.
Including the practice squad or without the practice squad?
Without the practice squad. They had Amani, Will Harris, Okudah, Mike Hughes, Jacobs. I'm drawing a blank on the little dude name. Got the one we brought, the CJ Moore, who they tried to make a safety, but it wasn't working. But again, he's special teams guy. And then on top of that, they had and this is just me off the top of my head trying to remember all our players. Parker was still there, or did they release Parker at some point? Well, he was there at a point. Then they
Parker
released
use nickel.
I don't care. I'm just telling you, they carry more than 6 corners.
Yeah, but when we have to be careful with the language here, because sure, Mike.
Oh, Lucas, that's his goddamn name. Thank you, D. Williams.
Okay. Because you have last year, Will Harris, they tried to move to outside corner. Okay, but Mike Hughes was initially the nickel, and then eventually Will Harris became a nickel. So that's 2 different nickels right there. So yeah, you have 6 corners. But that becomes 3 of your starting spots.
But you're not hearing me. You're not hearing me. Why couldn't the Lions still draft a cornerback? Just stay with me. Why couldn't the Lions still draft a cornerback and say buy Will Harris? Would you rather have Will Harris or Jeff Okudah?
At their price points, Will Harris. Will Harris is the best because we need nickel depth. Because Will Harris wouldn't be tasked with the outside. he'd be at nickel, which was the best position he's had. It's the best position he's ever played, and he was average. But if you're getting a backup nickel for $2 million and he's an average nickel, please, by all means, that's great depth.
Let me bring in my Roar the Lions family member Anthony as we go over this right now because I can't expend no more time on this. This makes zero fucking sense. Now we worried about money. You have one of the cheapest goddamn defenses in all of the NFL. We are dead last in pretty much most of them damn categories, and we talking about money. What? We didn't have no problem spending money on a receiver whose legs was gone, but no, I can't. My man Anthony, what's going on, brother?
Legs were gone. What?
Hey, I had to come in and say hello to Petty Luke today. I've not heard him in a while,
I'm trying not to be, but as you can see, there are these moments where people just want to debate and challenge when this doesn't make sense. There's no way in hell we're looking at you. Nobody pays and say, I just want cheap players that are ass. Nobody is talking like that. They want to pay people who perform. In fact, you get paid based on performing. Is that an agreeable thing to say, Anthony? That people get paid for performing?
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
Okay, so why is it that a guy in Will Harris who don't perform, we're talking about where he's only making $2 million? He shouldn't be making shit with us. His contract was over. He should have been gone.
I think you'll find that he might not be with us this time, Mr. Luke. I think for now...
we wasted that money.
Not wasting it. So Will Harris is on that vet thing where he gets paid about $2.25 million, but he only costs about $700,000 against the cap. You're talking very minimal losses for the Lions here next year. So I don't even know if he's here this time next year, Luke. I mean, this time at the start of the season, especially if the draft goes the way it does, and we draft in another one of the CJG types. So I would hold your fire on that one just yet.
I'll take that. That's fair. You want me to hold that back? They might still cut him. But at the end of the day, there's still a chance that that's going to turn into some dead money, which still then affects our cap.
It does, but to the tune of $700,000, which is not a lot, Luke. I mean, in the grand scheme of things,
but you know, you like now. I know in the UK, I don't know in the UK how it works, but in the US, let me tell you some of the things that I've noticed. I've noticed when you go in the store and the item is like 99 cents. What they would do is the store would just do this. They'll just round it up to $1. And most people don't really care that it was rounded up to $1. But if you look into a store and there's 10 people at one time and all of them got rounded to $1, that's 10 cents extra. And if that happens in a matter of minutes, imagine how fast 10 cents can add up if you can do that in a matter of minutes over an 8-hour shift. That shit adds up.
But you're talking about, in the grand scheme of things, a minuscule amount here. I mean, your cap is what, 218 odd million, and you're talking about 1/218th of your cap, less than 1/218th of your cap on one player. And you've got to be prepared for all scenarios, Luke. So I despise Will Harris. I think he's one of the worst players on this team. I think he's been an absolute abomination for this franchise. However, the position he plays, if he's taking minimal snaps on this team at a position and he's pushed out of his starter role, fine, whatever, couldn't care less. So I don't really mind about that one. When it comes to Okudah, I know you said why is he not getting the last year and all, Luke, but
No, not why he's not getting it. What I'm saying is, why did we not explore other options to try to utilize our roster and minimize taking the dead cap hits that we've been taking over this time? Why not try to minimize that? And on top of that, try him in a position because we're going to need DBs. You got a guy in Mosley who we don't know if he's going to come back a fully 100% healthy. And if he does, great. If he don't, shit. Now we got to depend on Will Harris. Like, I don't feel comfortable about that. And then, yes, they're going to still draft a corner. But I'm asking the question of, now that you've done these things, I'm just asking, why couldn't this just, why not give him other opportunities to do something that I think he can do, which is play safety?
Or you could also be asking, why aren't we finding a fifth way to try and fit a square into a round hole? This team over the years has been criticized a lot for keeping players too long. I mean, let's go back to Deshaun Hand or someone like that. We kept saying they've got to cut him. It's not working. We knew that. We could see it well in advance, and we just wasted too many years on him. It's quite clear with Okudah, through injury, through inconsistent performance. He's not going to do it here, Luke. He's just not. We've got 3, nearly 4 years evidence now that it's just potentially not going to happen here. You're coming to a corner-rich draft with some great prospects in there. They're probably going to double dip at corner in this draft. You've got to build your team for the future, not just. I mean, so what? Even what if Okuda does well at safety for a year? What are you going to do? You go pay him? You go pay him a lot of money next year? Or he's just going to waste snaps for guys who we're going to build for the future, Luke. And you're paying him $10 million to do that. I mean, Sutton and Mosley are quite clearly going to start. CJG is clearly going to start in there. You're going to draft a high corner who you really want to be getting starter level snaps in there. You're probably going to draft another one fairly high as well. I want to build my room for the future. I don't want to build it around a guy who at most might be here for a year as a safety. I mean, what you got to do? Give him Kirby snaps? Kirby's doing fine. Kirby just needs more development. You've got Tracy coming back. You've got Gardner Johnson who can play that role as well. You're probably going to get a safety in the draft at some point as well. You are just stifling the progression of your team for the future with him here. He's simply not a part of it. And I think that's why they've done it. And it's very astute. I mean, in this time in 12 months, if it doesn't work, we go, oh, well, we should have got rid of him last year. That would be the knock on him then. That would be the criticism. So,
but see, I wouldn't mind if we just let him walk, because at that point, I'm just trying to save the money, right? So what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is this. They're going to do it. And I feel like at this point, you're showing your hand. You're showing your hand by saying, I got rid of this cornerback. They know you're going to add a corner. And all I'm saying is when you look at our safeties, right? Obviously, you got Tracy. Obviously, you got Kirby Joseph. Obviously, you got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. And then after that, you got Iffy, who is not he's not looking good. You got Brady Breeze, where it's not looking good, and CJ Moore.
Okay, so you say we're showing our hand, but what hand are we showing, Luke? What hand are we showing? Do you think we're really, honestly going to go cornerback at 6? Do you think we're going to do that? And do you think the team's going to care? Do you think the Seahawks are going to go, oh my God, the Lions behind us are drafting a cornerback? Do you think the Raiders behind us are going to go, oh my God, they're drafting a cornerback? That's going to kill us. Do you think they don't give a whether we're drafting one at 18, 48, 55? Do you think another team cares if we're drafting a corner there? No. Why? Because there's a ton of corners in this draft. Lots of really good ones. We're not showing a hand here at all, Luke. This is business getting done early in the progression of this roster. We need good roster we need to churn this roster out, and we need to get good players here. And in Okuda's case is getting the younger guys in, getting them snaps now, preparing this team. You are just, in your scenario, you're just having 12 months where we're going to waste snaps on Okuda, and we're probably going to let him go anyhow because we're not paying that 5th-year contract, are we? So
you love the trade.
This is firm. Yeah, this is firm.
Is there anything that Brad Holmes has done, Anthony, that you don't like?
Yeah, I think some of his trades have been a little icky. I think some of his draft decisions, which he's been talked out of, concerned me a little bit. But I also take into account, Luke, the situation he was dealt when he got here. It's all right saying that he doesn't make mistakes, and
no, I'm not. I'm saying he makes mistakes. I'm telling you that the overwhelming majority loves everything that he does.
Okay,
and what I'm telling you is
so look, 2 years ago, what situation were we in when he got here 2 years ago? We were absolutely in the fire in terms of our cap. We had no cap.
We had 36 million. We had 36 million.
Yes, we
did. Yes, we did. It's documented. We had $36 million in cap space.
You had over $50 million in dead cap. You had another 40 on IR through injury. You've had issues. The cap was not great when we came here. This roster was horrible. Overpaid.
It's better now.
No young talent. 2 years later, Luke, we're talking about going for the NFC North.
So we should win a playoff game this year.
I think we should. I think that's what.
That's all I need.
I think that's what you've seen. I think that's
all I need. I need a fan base who's willing to say that. I need a fan base that's willing to put the standard that we should win the division and win the playoff game.
So you've had 2 years.
I don't think any fan is not setting that standard.
No, I don't. I think they're not, and I think they're ready with their pitchforks and their flame torches ready, so they can say fire the head coach. So and the reality is if we're losing games, I promise you it's going to be because of the defense. So this idea that the defense is improved is almost comical to me. But that's not the point.
Wait. Improve from when?
Well, this is why I look at it, right? And I broke it down to like this. It's like a grade. If you go from a 75 to a 76, did you improve? Certainly. It's still a C average.
Wait, but from like we're talking improve from what year to what year?
Yeah, you going all over the place. I don't want.
No.
Listen, you're going to track us. You're going to track us somewhere that's not even what we're talking about. When I talk about improvement, I'm talking about enough improvement to the point where people are willing to say the following statement: that the Lions are going to win the division in a playoff game. Let me get in my next guest.
No.
Don't go nowhere, Troy. Don't go nowhere, Anthony. I want to bring this up to a full scope, and I want to get people in. I'm gonna bring in my next guest, D-Map Zooms. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, my brothers? What's going on?
Not much. What do you got for us, and what do you think about the Okudah trade and Brad Holmes' ability to trade Okudah and getting the 5th round pick?
So far, after I seen it earlier, I'm like, cool. I said we got something for him. Honestly, we let him play that 4th year. It's like it was a good chance we wasn't gonna get much. We basically gonna let him walk for pretty much free because we know dang well we don't want to give him that 5th year. Like who they about to pay all that money for a cornerback? They ain't really worth anything. But like you said, you can have video. Like he wasn't worth that pick. Like we all knew that. I was still pissed when they took him. But it's like I want to make this quick. I'm about to get ready to cook dinner. But pretty much, say we got something for him. That's why he did. That's why Brad went ahead and did it early. And got it done over with. So at least we got something for him. Didn't lose him for absolutely nothing, which I agree with. Get something better than nothing.
Listen, this is an open forum. Not gonna argue with nobody. Y'all got it today. Appreciate you for coming through and being patient, brother. I'm gonna roll you out so you can get that good dinner, but I gotta know what you cooking. And if you say hot dogs, I'm hanging up on you. Just don't say hot dogs.
I remember last time I ate a hot dog.
Okay, all right. I'll make a show now. What we cooking?
Oh man, so far about cook me some nice bait and breaded shrimp in the oven. I still got leftover cabbage, dressing, macaroni and cheese.
I see you out here.
Yams.
You putting a little soul and a little bit of
Oh man, your boy about had this itis. If you know
hey, I hear that, man. Appreciate you for coming through. Let me roll in my next guest.
All right,
so
man.
He can talk his stuff. And man, D-Mac, please, man, come back, brother. All right. Let's bring in my next guest. Huh? Did I say something? Okay. My man, John Kepler, what you got for us, brother?
What's going on? Oh my God, Jeff Okudah is gone. Hallelujah.
Yeah. I mean,
we are drafting a cornerback. Hell,
do you think we're doing a 6?
Draft 2.
Oh shit! No, don't say that. No. Listen, real quick, I gotta run around the table and ask this. Start with you, Will. Are you okay with the Lions taking 2 cornerbacks? Did I lose Will?
No, probably not. I want one up high, but that's about it.
So you're not gonna be okay with 2 cornerbacks?
Why would we get 2? We already have 5 that can play on the edge.
Yeah, I think I would be sick to my stomach if I see 2 cornerbacks coming.
No, because we have a bunch of 3rd-string rotational guys and 1 guy on contract for the long term. Get the guys in, get them trained. Get our 1st round one. He'll play this year, and the other guy can sit and learn. And hell, maybe even that 1st round pick isn't as good, and he needs to sit and learn because cornerback is one of the hardest positions to transition from college to the NFL. I hear it every year, and that's what we said about Jeff. Oh, it just takes a while. So take 2. Why not? It's a position of need. We were horrible last year in the defensive back room.
Well, I thought we fixed that with them free agents. That's what's throwing me off a little bit.
Will Harris. Why the hell didn't we keep Okudah? Like it should have been vice versa, if anything.
That's how I see it. I mean, Troy, what do you think? Would you be okay if we took 2 cornerbacks?
Listen, I'm sick of the overkill. He wants to take 2 or 3 people in the same position. Brad Holmes keeps doing that. Unless there's a drastic someone falls crazily, I think based on the Cam Sutton contract, he's signed a 3-year deal. I think we really only need like 1 really good guy at this point. So that's what I think.
Okay. All right. Anthony, 2 cornerbacks? That seems tough.
You laugh, Luke, but next season we've got Cam Sutton, Ife Melifonwu, and Chase Lucas under contract at corner. That you'll not be laughing in 12 months if none of that works, and you're like, oh, damn.
Yeah,
I wish I got some good corners in the draft this year.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You need 2 this year. There's 1 guy you can bring in high level, and there's 1 you can sit and develop. But you're looking at these positions. We have nothing at corner barely beyond this season. Unless they get their head out their ass and put Iffy back at corner, which is what they should do, then we don't need two corners. But you've got nothing after this year, so you've got to protect against the long term. It's the same at safety. It's the same at linebacker. There's very little protection in the long term at those positions. So if two corners come off the board to us, I'm absolutely fine with that because we need it. And it's the perfect draft to go out and get to.
I mean,
Okay,
shoot.
listen.
And if you look at edge, too, Romeo Akawara is going to be gone. Julian's going to be gone. And technically, James Houston is a ER free agent, too. So, like, we'll have to re-sign him as well. So, like, we potentially are down 3 people at edge as well. There's just a lot of
My thing
places
is
we need to
it's
build depth for
easier-
the long term.
It's easier for defensive ends to come along in the NFL than it is cornerbacks. That's why I say take 2. You know?
We just got rid of a corner, and now we want 2 more. Will Harris
the
get to stay?
best available. We were getting smoked the first half of the year last year. We were horrible.
You make it sound so simple there, Luke. You've got a 4th-year guy who's not had much success, who's been injured, who's not really part of the long-term plans, versus 2 new guys who are going to be part of your future. So you can't just say you're going to get rid of one and replace them. There's a very good reason for doing that. And these 2 new corners ain't going to cost $10 million against the cap. Not even close.
So I went to over the cap. Over the cap said he was only making like 5.5. Like where was 5.4?
He counts 10.25 million against the cap. We eat 5.2. They pay 5. That's
Right,
where
because we traded him. But if you capped him, it was only 5.
No, it wasn't. It was 10.25 against the cap, Luke.
So the way it was 10.5 dead money. But if you trade him, we take 5.5 dead, and then they pay 5. So it's a trade thing. Yeah.
But the point still stands. This isn't like the Slay Akuda thing where we're just that was replacing our cornerback 1, which we traded away to try and get another cornerback 1. This is trading away a guy who has no position on our roster next year for 2 future guys who are going to have positions on our rosters. And, you're resetting the clock there because we need to. Akuda was not on this team past next year, and you need long-term sustainability in the NFL. It can't just be this year. We could go win a playoff game this year. Great. What if we can't pay Gardner-Johnson? What if you can't pay Mosley? What you got to do next year? Oh, we got to go to a Super Bowl next year with 3 cornerbacks, and we got to draft them all, or we got to sign them.
That seems a little facetious to me because at the end of the day, you acting like they're not going to have an offseason to extend people or to add other free agents or like I'm just trying to figure out like. If you're telling me that, then you can drive with definitely should have just kept Okuda because you'd at least had this year and the 5th year option.
But you're going to pay him that 5th year money next year, or
if you wanted to exercise his 5th year option, you could. But if you didn't want to, you didn't have to. And if you wanted to have him come back to the table and have him take less, you could have did that too. The only thing I made a point to was the simple fact that for us to be celebrating that we got a 5th round pick for him when you did not explore all his options. And I'll give this credit to one of the subscribers who said, "How do we know we didn't explore all of them?" I don't remember seeing him on the field in too many safety spots, but when he was playing really, really well. And I'm just telling you that if he messes around and the Falcons say, "Hey, he's playing safety for us," and now all of a sudden he shines, I'm just gonna look at all y'all. Remember that 5th round pick was lit.
So, Luke, you're talking about facetiousness here, but then you're saying that everyone's celebrating. No one's celebrating this.
Oh, yes, they is.
Oh, come off it. Some people might.
Some people
might
celebrating at least a little bit.
But the reason why this trade goes down is because you've got another pick. This is in Brad Holmes' wheelhouse to go out and find a good pick in these positions. It's better than we would have got, really, for him than just letting him go. You've got a pick. Jeff gets a chance at a new future. It works for everybody. It's very sensible, Luke.
No.
You are basing this whole thing on that Jeff has a good year and we keep him in the future. That's a hell of a gamble. What have you seen from Jeff to say he's going to have this magic year where you're going to give him the 5th year option? You are all about tape.
No. I'm not saying that you're going to give him a 5th year.
We already had to exercise the 5th option. So the 5th year option's out the window. That's already a no. So we only have him for 1 year, regardless.
Then perfect. Let him. I would rather have him than Will Harris. I would rather have him than freaking Parker. I would rather because I think he would be better suited at safety than if he would. That'll give Iffy a chance to go back to cornerback. Which, by the way, while he did play corner better, Iffy just ain't it. I'm sorry, it's not happening. It's just not it.
So
he
in
has
12
not lived up.
So in 12 months, Luke, if we draft 2 corners in this draft, which I think we will, are you going to be happy that the Lions let him roll one more year, taking snaps from Kirby at safety, taking snaps from Devon on the outside, taking
Exactly.
snaps from another rookie on
Exactly.
there? This is what this whole thing is
Thank
about,
you,
Luke.
Anthony.
So wait,
Brad
so
Holmes-
backups don't come in?
Brad Holmes knows damn well that any snaps that Okudah takes next year is taken away from his future. It's taking
Brad
future
Holmes
snaps
didn't
away
have
from
no
other
problem.
guys.
Hold on, wait. Brad Holmes didn't have no problem with people taking snaps. This is the thing that blows my mind. He never had a problem with people taking snaps. That was a thing for him. They
He
had
gives
to
his
make
young
adjustments,
guys
and they did.
snaps.
He
gives
brought
his
in
young
Mike Hughes.
guys snaps. He gives his young guys
But young guys
serious
snaps with Ben guys. If Tracy Walker didn't get hurt, Kirby Joseph wasn't getting those snaps. Seriously, he wasn't getting a significant amount of snaps if Walker didn't get hurt.
Who else is there, Luke? He would have gotten rotational snaps as a minimum. He wouldn't have got starter, but he would have got rotational.
But that's my
This is
point. I'm saying
this
you
is-
telling me that Okudah wouldn't have been better served at getting those snaps than if he is not it.
Right,
There's nothing. The tape
Anthony,
does
Anthony.
not. The tape
I
says
am
he's
not
not it.
giving.
Wait,
I am not giving Jeff Okudah snaps this year that will go to Kirby Joseph or 2 of my corners from this upcoming draft, or even Jerry Jacobs, who I think has earned a stay here if he carries on playing as well. I am not giving him snaps above any of those players at all, and I am not giving him $10 million to sit on the bench and ride as a backup. That's what Brad Holmes is saying,
Thank
and
you.
that is the right thing to
Thank
do,
you.
Luke. Because
Okay,
this
then
is long-term sustainability
If that's the
of your
case,
franchise.
if that's the case, you know what? Because again, I don't aim to be right in the moment. I aim to see how things age well. We got Mosley, right? Well, let's hope Mosley stays healthy. Because if he don't stay healthy, and Brad
That's why
Holmes,
you take 2 corners this year.
okay, listen, fine. You want to take 2 corners? Fine, right? We take 2 corners. But I'm telling you right now, if the guy that he's signing free agent to a 1-year deal, I don't want to hear this because every time somebody bring up a criticism about what he's doing, well, it's only a 1-year deal. It's not that thing. It's like, no. And I'm sorry, Ricky Bobby, if he ain't it, bro. It's no.
What 1-year deal that he's given
Anthony.
out has killed this franchise, Luke?
Right here, Anthony. I
Yeah.
really want to talk about the Will Harris, Jeff Okudah, and they're an aspect I feel like we're missing out: special teams. Jeff Okudah, say we draft someone, Jeff Okudah is still on the team. He's our 4th corner with 5 career special team snaps.
What they gotta
Versus
do
Will
anything?
Harris, who is $2 million and has like over 300 special team snaps a year.
That has
We-
absolutely
we
to do
need
nothing
that.
to do with nothing. Will, what you're trying to do is trying to say that these Will, hold on, wait a minute.
Anthony, is
Wait,
this
Will,
irrelevant?
hold on, Will, wait a minute. You're trying to say, well, Okudah didn't have special team snaps. He didn't get special team snaps because he started out as a starter and he was getting starter snaps. And so most times they don't put starters on special teams. And so you can't compare a guy like Will Harris, who's never and should ever start. And when he had to, God help us, let's pray about it. But at the end of the day, you can't use that matrix because guess what? At the end of the day, Okudah was never brought here to be a special teams person. But if you had to demote him down to the special teams, he would have had to be special teams. That's my only point. So I don't want to hear about snaps. Snap. I don't care about that. The reality is we know why Will Harris is taking snaps. And what I'm saying is Okudah could take those same snaps away from Will Harris. And it would have been no problem.
The point here is that your 4th corner, you're going to try and make him in his 4th year now learn all these special teams.
Oh, God. It's so much work to run down there and hit somebody.
While also
it's so much work.
While also trying to make him learn safety. You're trying to make him learn probably 2 to 3 special teams units, as well as a whole new position in his 4th year in the league after having 3 injury-riddled seasons.
Listen,
versus Will Harris, you can already has that base.
You can have that same
conversation.
Here's the thing I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear the following statements this season. This has all been documented. This is the purpose of having these. I love these things because this gives you a chance to go back and listen. I do not, and I shall not have it. I don't want to hear, oh, man, Will Harris, man, he's so garbage. He's so terrible. Oh, Will Harris, man, I don't want to hear nothing about it Because at the end of the day, according to most people, aka you will, that it's just a matter of getting the money. Okay, cool. So you spend cheap, you're gonna get cheap results, and I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear complaints. I don't want to hear fire the head coach. I don't want to hear fire the defensive coordinator. I don't want to hear any of that. You still have a roster with the cheapest defense out there.
Please stop wildly misinterpreting what I'm saying.
No, there's no misinterpretation. At the end of the day, you're talking snaps and you're talking money, and that does not matter. I'm not talking about the money because guess what? He's already on the roster. And this idea that, he couldn't do anything. No, you give him a chance to compete. You wait it out. That way it doesn't be a complete tell. If he ends up losing out and you want to trade him, you could have got a 5th anytime. You could have got a 6th anytime. You could have got a 7th anytime. There ain't no damn high value picks. You could have got that anytime. You did not need to do it right now. You did not need to go out and force your hand and say, let me do this before the draft and get a 5th. Now, if he turns that 5th into some gold, I'll come back and humbly recant. Humbly.
But you're saying if he rides the bench.
He's not riding the bench.
Well, no,
His idea that he's riding the bench. He may not start, but he's not riding the bench.
Luke, he's corner 4. Now, I have to say this with Will. Will is absolutely right here, Luke. So, what is your corner? No team in the NFL, not one team pays its cornerback for $10 million. Not one team in the NFL asks his cornerback for to not do spec. That is the whole point of them. You have your starting cornerbacks. Jeff Okudah is not a starting cornerback. You were trying to argue that point, Luke. Then you're using your own thing against you. Looking at the tape, he's shown nothing to show he is a starting cornerback for us at this level.
Wait a minute. Make no mistake. Hold on. You telling me that Okudah, even if he's let's say they come out in the 4 cornerback set, we come out in the 4. I mean, let's say they come out in the 4 receiver set, and he's the 4th corner.
I ain't giving him a start. No, Jerry Jacobs has earned to start more than him, and that is true. You can't argue that. Jerry Jacobs has earned to start more. I'm paying Gardner Johnson.
Let's say they come out with 4 receivers. I got to hear how this works out. Let's say they come out with 4 receivers, right? Give me the 4 cornerbacks and the 2 safeties.
I'm bringing Cam Sutton. I'm bringing Mosley. Okay. I'm bringing Jacobs.
Okay.
And I'm bringing Gardner Johnson as my 4 corners, and then as my 2 safeties, I'm using Kirby.
Wait, you bringing in Gardner? You bringing in Gardner at your other corner? You said
he's going to be the nickel.
Okay,
he's going to be the nickel. Very clearly.
I want to hear. So we got Gardner, Jacobs. So who is cornerback 1?
Sutton is quite clearly cornerback 1.
Who's cornerback 2?
Mosley will be.
And cornerback 3?
You would have CJG. Well, you could swap CJG or Mosley around, but he's going to play the nickel slot, which is a little bit different. And then Jerry's your corner 4.
Okay, and so you're saying you would rather have those 4 out there with Kirby and you said Walker at safety?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Walker, who's coming off an injury.
Yeah.
Mosley, who's coming off an injury.
Yeah.
Wasn't Okudah coming off an injury?
Hang on, they're both healthy, Luke.
They're
both. Mosley and Walker are both healthy going into the offseason.
You realize that Mosley, Walker, and CJ Gardner all are coming off injuries.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And you feel comfortable.
They've got a full off season, Luke. This is not like JMO last year where they're going to come back in November. They're going to be ready for the season. They're going to have a full preseason. They're going to have full training camps. They're going to have all of that. And you are completely discounting the fact that we are going to take corners in this draft. We are probably going to take a high-level guy in there
I've been asking for corners for 5 years. Perfect.
So when we've got 4 guys out there already, we're going to take a high-level corner in the draft who you want to give snaps to and you want to see the field because this coaching staff can develop its young talent. Okudah is going to be nowhere near the field. He's going to be cornerback 6 maybe when this is all said and done.
Perfect.
And he can't do special teams, which is a thing. And I know you don't like it, and I don't really like it either.
It's not a thing.
He has to.
You
run 100% a thing.
The cornerback
it is 100% a thing.
It's not a thing. I literally played it. You run down there, you hit shit. That's what happens.
I'm not sending Mosley and Sutton to do special teams.
Oh, pause, Luke. I'm not going to let that slide. There's a
I played. Oh, hold on. Wait a minute.
I know you played.
I played.
I know
I played. You're not going to let it slide for a guy who played? What is it? What's so different? You run down there, you keep your lane, and you hit.
No. Don't.
But have you played?
No, I ain't played, but I coach people that are in the NFL. Bro, AJ Thomas is in the NFL with my coach and in my film study. Don't be giving me this shit right now. Don't be doing this to me because I got people in the NFL right now.
Don't make it so personal, Will. Don't make it so
No,
personal. At the end of the day, sir. At the end of the day, I'm telling you that I play special teams, and when you're doing something simple, you telling me Okuda can't just run down there, keep a lane, and make a tackle? The fuck out of here. There's no way. There's no way you're gonna convince me of that. I'm sorry. It's not happening. You're running down there, you keep a lane, you make a tackle.
Career special teamers in the NFL because anyone can do it. Why would there be 8-year vets that only do special teams?
Because they are trying to keep. Listen, if it's so important, if it's so important, why are they trying to eliminate the special teams play in its entirety?
So,
injury-wise, what?
Why are they trying to eliminate the special teams entirely? They want to just have it where you win a coin flip. You win. There literally have been negotiations every year about winning a coin flip and simply just lining up and snapping the ball.
This is just a pivot now. Okay.
Okay, Luke. Luke, answer this question, Luke. If you're not going to
talk to me, Anthony. I can't talk to people who I played the game. I'm just being honest. I played the game.
Okay, if you're not going to do special,
you played the game how many years ago?
I played the game and I coached it, but I got it. Go ahead.
You coached it at D1 level and got people into the NFL.
Go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, if you're not going to go with the special teams argument, fine. But you give me a rational argument to why your cornerback 6, safety 3 or 4 should be earning 10 million next year when he's probably not going to be on the team next season. You give me a rational argument as to why we should do that as a team.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question. I was reading the comment. My bad. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. So, Okuda, if he was here next year, it's probably going to be CB 5 or 6. And even if you shift him over to safety, he's behind Walker, he's behind Kirby on the depth chart. If CJG's playing in there, he's probably somewhere around your safety 3, cornerback 5, cornerback 6.
He's going to be safety 2.
You tell me why you're paying 10 million next year. Give me a rational argument as to why your safety 2 or your cornerback 5 is earning 10 million.
Because all the people you brought in, because every person you brought in is coming off of an injury, and we don't know what that's going to look like. We don't know how they recover from that. We don't know if they recover from that. We don't know if that thing is terrible. And so one of the things that I look at is like even the people like Odell Beckham Jr. I remember where he went to the Browns. The Browns think, he's gonna be good, and he got injured again, re-aggravated it. Like I'm just looking at it and I'm saying, okay, we have options where you can have him be safety number 2. You're gonna run a 3 safety anyway. You telling me that if he's safety number 2, because you're not gonna tell me CJ Moore, Breeze, and Iffy is outdoing him at the safety spot. You even admit that Iffy needs to move back to a cornerback.
No, that's fine. And I get your rationale behind that, but there's a second part to this question. Fine. You're not too fussed about paying him the amount of money where he is, and you are concerned about people who are coming off a season with injury. There's things there, but let's take a look at Jeff's season. Started off really well, then dropped off a cliff. What did you see from Jeff towards the end of that season when he started missing games and was playing really bad that will convince you to invest 10 million in him next year? Because that's just as bad as an injury.
When he moved
form dropping off a cliff.
When he moved to the in the box safety, he performed way better.
How many snaps did he take there, Luke?
But listen, that's not the point. You asked me what did I see? No, wait a minute. You asked me what did I see on the tape, and I'm telling you, when they moved him into the box as a safety, he performed better. And what I saw made me go, see, this right here lines up with my thought from the get-go, which was he was a safety. Because I said he wasn't a cornerback. I said he wasn't worth taking the top 10 pick. These same people who do this try to convince themselves that Okuda was better than Isaiah Simmons. They are MIA today, but the reality is I'm waiting on them to come back. And all I'm trying to point out to you is this. If he's cornerback number 2, right? If he's cornerback number 2, we gave $10 million for 1 year to a freaking receiver. What's wrong with his ass sitting there for $10 million? You gave DJ Chark $10 million for 1 season, and he's not even here. He's on the Panthers. So what's the difference?
Do you think?
And on top of that, you don't take any dead cap money. And as you see here from Hatter House, he says Luke's argument is that our depth is suspect, facts. So it's worth it to keep him and not have to draft 2 cornerbacks. That's my argument. That's my view. All you got was a 5th round pick. You telling me that if you waited till after the draft, you wasn't getting a 5th?
So you're telling me that your answer to our depth problems is keeping a guy who's going to be here for 1 year, not drafting anybody, and getting to next season with just Cameron Sutton, Ife Melifonwu, and Chase Lucas on the contract. That's your solution to our depth problems at corner.
Yeah, I guess Anthony puts a big point out there. It's not about momentary depth. We want to make sure this team retains its depth and ability to have depth.
Compete over a long term.
Yeah, this ain't a 1 year fix. Okuda's not here after 1 year.
What's the difference between giving $10 million to DJ Chark and letting Okuda ride for $10 million? What's the difference?
Oh,
can I just ask a quick question, Luke?
Wait. Easy.
No, wait. I want to ask.
Yeah, that's a very easy answer. It was to fill a roster spot so we could do whatever the fuck we wanted in the draft, which we did.
And so you can't, Troy. Let me bring you in. You've been patiently waiting. What are your thoughts on this?
I really can't believe how far we're underestimating Okuda. Like, we're talking about Will Harris is better than Okuda, and I think Okuda's a lot better than Jerry Jacobs personally. I think, Jacobs is a good player, but as far as the potential that Okuda has, Okuda could be, like you said, one of the top 20s. Someone was up at a top 20. And I think, I don't understand how we're talking about, okay, we need to get rid of Okuda because he's so bad, but now we need to draft 2 corners because we need corners. Well, wait a minute. Okuda, people forget Okuda had the pick 6 that saved our whole season, but he fell off a cliff. Wait a minute, how did he fall? If he didn't get that pick 6 in Chicago, there's no 9-8. There's no 9-8. We're still winning. We're not good. There's no winning season. That was because of Okuda. He ignited that whole thing.
I mean,
what week was that pick 6? Week 8, week 9, like halfway through the season. We're putting one play down for half a season. And let's go back to this. No one has said Will Harris is better than Jeff Okuda. No one. That's just some narrative been made up to try and discredit this argument. We're talking about the long-term future of this team. I don't get how people can't see that keeping Okuda here when they clearly don't want to keep him for a 5th year and not draft his future replacement and start the build
we
now.
didn't want to keep Will Harris. He's still here.
Right.
So,
exactly.
all right, Luke. When Tracy got paid, Luke, you didn't like that deal, did you?
I did. I was okay with it. Because we didn't have nobody. We need safeties.
But I very remember saying that was too much for him.
Listen, I complain that, I don't like the amount of money they gave, but I don't have a problem with us re-signing him because we didn't have another damn safety. I hated Tavon Wilson. The last time we had a good safety was Glover Quinn. That is saying a lot. And then Glover Quinn was such an impactful player that I was like, okay, he helped so many people get better. And I've been screaming this for the longest. My biggest gripes is I want to address the defense and address it appropriately. I don't want to hear all this talk about, well, we're only going to have these people on the like, it's not going to be a free agent next year. Like, we're not going to have another draft next year. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm telling you that most of these people that you're talking about who are on 1-year deals, our general manager brought them in. And most of them are freaking hurt. Gardner coming off an injury, Mosley coming off an injury, Tracy Walker coming off an injury.
And that's why you draft them.
He drafting hurt players and everything. And my issue is this. If you can bring back Will Harris.
Who gives a that they bought Will Harris back? He's not the long-term part here in Detroit. You're focusing way too much on this. He's gone in 12 months. He's gone. He gone in 12 months. He might even make the answer. I don't know. But the point is,
who's the answer? Who's the long-term answer?
It's not Okuda.
Not Okuda. And you're here arguing that he is.
I'm not asking you if it's Okuda. No, I'm not. I'm asking you. No, that's not. I'm asking you, who is the long-term answer?
In this draft, Luke, is our long-term future. That is why you bring Mosley in. That's why you bring CJ Gardner-Johnson in. I mean, say you draft, theoretically, Brian Branch at 18. He's exactly the same type of player that CJ Gardner-Johnson is. You bring him in, you train him up for a year while CJ is playing it. And if he plays really well and plays out his mind and we can't pay him next year, your future's secure because you've got the next guy behind him. That is what this is about. These one-year deals. What?
Who's the next guy behind him?
I've just given you the example, Luke. I've said if we draft Branch this year, because he's exactly the same type of player, you bring him in, you give him rotational snaps, you let CJ play this 1-year deal, you have him here because he is a guy who can contribute to us right away and make us a good team now. And then next year, if he leaves, whereas your plan would be to draft nobody, and then we're like, what if we win a playoff game this year? What are you going to do next year to take the next step forward? We're going to draft them now, and you're going to get your guys for the future. If Mosley doesn't work, if CJ doesn't work, you get 2 guys this year, you draft them, you train them up, they're ready to go next year. You're protecting your long-term future, which is the whole point of this. I can see why Brad's done it. Get good guys in 1 year whilst you train your own guys. That is what this whole thing has been about. You can't just ignore that. And what one-year deal has Brad Holmes done to
reality
us?
is your answer is this. Although we got people who are hurt or coming off injuries, I should say. Not hurt now, but they're coming off injuries. We got those people who are coming off injuries. Your argument is if he goes out, if he goes out and he gets Branch, and you'll have Branch to fill into the role of Gardner if you can't re-sign him, right? Everything's if. But let's talk about what is right now, right? Let's talk about what is right now. I'm taking ifs and fifths out of it, right? And
So
all
stop
I'm asking
talking about Okuda being good then, Luke.
No.
That
is the biggest.
No. What I'm asking is this. I never said Okuda is good. What I said is Okuda is better than Will Harris. What I said is Okuda would have been a better option because we allowed a receiver to come in here for 1 year for $10 million. So who cares if he sits for that $10 million? I don't give two flying nickels. You drafted a receiver who was hurt and he's going to have his thing. Who I'm almost sure he probably won't make it to a second contract. But that's not the point.
That's an if.
What I'm saying is to you. Hold on. What I'm saying to you is this. What I'm saying. Okay, hold on. I want to make sure we can have a conversation. What I'm saying to you is this. Let's talk about right now. Right now, Okuda's gone, and you are okay with him being traded for a 5th round pick. That's what I'm hearing. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely fine.
And you're also saying that you're okay with that move. You're okay with Will Harris being a part of our plan.
No, I don't think he will be.
So you think that Will Harris is just going to get cut? He's just here as a camp body?
I think Will Harris is going to take minor reps at most next year because he
No. My question to you, Anthony, I'm asking this. I'm trying to get to very specific points. My question to you is do you believe that he will get cut? Or do you think he's going to be on this roster for the season?
I don't know.
Okay, so you don't know if he's going to be on the roster. But what you do know is Okuda's hot trash. You do know that if we did this and if we did that. This is my point. Tell me what you know. I don't want the ifs. Tell me what you know. And what we know is right now that him, whether he's on the team for depth, whether you did this after the draft or before the season started, you still probably walk out with a 5th or a 6th round pick.
Look, what I know right now is that I'm terrified about the long-term future of our secondary because we've got no young talent coming up there whatsoever apart from Jerry and Kirby. That is it. I am terrified about that.
Don't judge.
And
I'm not Sutton like that. He got 3 years.
I said young. Luke, listen, please. I'm saying young talent. I'm talking about young guys I'm developing for the future. Cam's going to be for the here and now, but I'm all about having the young talent in to develop over time to ensure long-term sustainability for this team and success. And I would flip this by saying, okay, you keep Okuda next year, Luke. You do what you want to at safety. He go be gone this time next year. You're not going to draft your guys this year. We go win a playoff game this year. Next year, you're wanting us to do a deep run into the playoffs. You're wanting us to really have a go for the Super Bowl then. What are you going to do when your cornerback room is Cameron Sutton, Ifeatu Melifonwu, and Chase Lucas? What are you going to do then? What's your plan?
I would rather have Okuda over Iffy. I would rather have Okuda over Will Harris. I really would. And I'm not even an Okuda fan. But I would rather
answer my question. Answer my question, Luke. What are you going to do a deep playoff run next year to get towards the Super Bowl? Not whether who you prefer Okuda from. You're going to delay this problem a year by keeping Okuda.
No, Anthony. I'm not delaying anything. See, you got to remember.
Okay, tell me your answer then.
Listen,
tell me your
Anthony,
answer.
I'm not delaying anything. What I'm telling you is I have been critical and I have been preaching that we need secondary help from the get-go. Everything I've been addressing over this entire time, from the moment that trash guy Patricia being here and long after he's been gone, has been you have to start to work on this secondary because I see the problems. And I'm telling you that most of the things that I addressed when I brought these things up were shunned and looked down upon. So my point I'm trying to make to you is everything that is being pointed out now are on ifs and fifths. But there's still an offseason that comes first where you have to re-sign the players that you have. So this idea that you're going to just have a bunch of guys on 1 year deal who are gone, then that's a problem.
No,
right?
look, I'm explaining my rationale behind why I'm happy, why I'm
No,
fine with this.
I get your rationale.
But
But what I'm trying to get you to understand is this: is that at the end of the day, this idea that you're going to just have a bunch of 1 year guys, that's a general manager problem that he created. And if he can't get guys re-signed, he can't get guys in free agency, and he can't get guys in the draft, I don't want to hear it. My only thing is this: to treat this like this is a great move. It's emotional based for most people because this has nothing to do with it. And I know
you're
not
talking.
Can I ask you a question?
You're not talking to someone who thinks this is a great move. Look, you keep
no,
telling
no, not
people,
you. I'm not talking about. No, I'm not talking about you, Anthony. You know I'm talking about you.
I know, but I'm trying to explain the rationale between our conversation here, and I want to hear because you're using this like not keeping Okuda for another year, trying him at safety as a knock on Holmes, which is fine, but what are you going to do in the long term with Okuda here? What are you going to do when you want to make progress? I'm saying we get rid of him now, so we're getting young players. So this time in 12 months, if we win a playoff game, we've got a good young core. We can continue sustainably building success, going deeper into the playoffs. You are saying you wouldn't do that because Okuda's going to be playing, taking snaps off younger guys. You're probably going to can him in 12 months anyhow. So I'm just intrigued as to what your rationale is for this.
We've canned other people in 12 months. Like this is where I don't get. The whole argument. This was from you though, Anthony, but this is from Will. The whole argument was money. I'm thinking, okay, we can talk money now, but the reality is, are you getting a better player? And so the reason that you got a cheaper player is because he's not as good as the player that you were going to pay. And so now the question then turns to this: well, we're going to get younger. Well, Kuda wasn't old. like it's not like he's old. Like I'm not trying to. The man is 24.
Luke, can you answer what Anthony asked? Can you repeat that, Anthony? Because I don't think he answered it in the slightest.
What is the question, Anthony, that you would like for me to answer? So I can.
My question for you, Luke,
a lot of this stupid stuff. Go ahead.
Right. So, like I've said, you want to keep Okuda for a year. That's fine. You're probably going to get rid of him in 12 months. I'm saying to you, because you're using this as a knock on Holmes, which is fine. You're entitled to that opinion. I'm saying Brad Holmes has made this move now so that he can invest in his future at the position to ensure his long-term success because we want to be going for the playoffs. We want to be going for the Super Bowl soon. I'm saying that's why he has made this move now and not tried to experiment. Lions GMs in the past have, gone with players for far too long when they shouldn't have. I'm saying that's what he's doing now. I'm saying, what would you be doing differently? Why are you knocking Holmes? What is your plan that you would do in 12 months after keeping Okuda that would give us long-term success at this franchise?
What would I do with Okuda to give us long-term success? I'm not doing
with your secondary. You're going to give him snaps next year. You're not going to let a rookie do it. You're going to enter next year. And this is Derek on the back of a playoff win, wanting to go deeper, wanting to carry on with a very bare cupboard.
Listen. Here's my answer to your question. You're asking me to jump a whole year in advance. I'm still focusing on the current year. I'm still focusing on the here and right now. I'm not trying to jump all the way until the next year. What I'm telling you is I'm looking at best player available per option. And for me, best player available between Okuda, a guy that I don't like, a guy that I told you is not worth a top 10 pick, a guy that I told you is a safety, a guy that I said this on that's all documented, right? I'm telling you he's a better option, in my opinion, than Will Harris. I'm telling you he's a better option, in my opinion, than Brady Breeze. He's a better option than CJ Moore. He'll be better option than Iffy. And so when I can go through and see these players that I believe he's a better option than, I believe that you can still warrant a switch up before you just throw the damn thing out the door and say we're done with it. If all you're going to get is a fifth, if they walked away with a third, you want to hear me say diddly squat. You want to hear me say shit. If they walked away with a second, I would have been quiet. If they walked away hell with a fourth, I would have even said nothing. But a fifth, you can get a fifth anytime. You can get a sixth anytime. You can get a seventh anytime. They give out fifth round picks like they Skittles. It's not that big of a deal. We gave up a fifth round pick for Trinity Benson, and everybody loved that move. And I'm just telling you.
No one did.
Okay, Luke. Okay, Luke. Right.
No one loved the Trinity Benson move.
All I'd say here, Luke.
I got the tape. It's there.
Please, hold up.
All I'd say, Luke.
Let's go ahead, Anthony.
All I'd say, Luke. You say you're not thinking about the future. You're thinking about the here and now. You know what Brad Holmes is thinking about?
Yeah,
the future. So
So was he thinking about the future when he built the roster last year?
Of course he was.
And
Took the best players he can in the draft.
And so you think he's thinking about the future. So let me just ask you this. Last year, what was the worst unit on the Detroit Lions? Offense, defense, special teams. What was the worst unit?
Defense was clearly the worst.
The year before that, what was the worst unit?
The defense.
The year before that, what was the worst unit?
I don't know, Luke. That's a toss-up. We still
It's
had
definitely
some
the
defense back
it's
then.
definitely the defense.
Right. So I just want
we got
to
beat by the
understand,
Panthers grossly bad.
So, Luke, I get what you're coming from. We don't spend much money on the defense. The defense, on the whole, has not, it's not taken massive strides under his thing. But you're completely non-factoring in the ability that this is a very young defense.
I love that.
First,
I love that
second,
it's a young defense.
And third, yes. And you are ignoring the natural rise in ability that you're going to get. You are going to get a natural improvement. You don't have to add a single guy to this defense on the offseason. That defense will be better next year because all those rookies are going to be much better. They are battle hardened.
That's cap.
They are tougher.
Oh.
No, Luke, that's bollocks. That's the whole point of a rebuild. The whole point of a rebuild is to build to a young team and you're going to weather a part where you're going to go through hell because you've got a lot of young guys in there. And look what Holmes has done this year. So we've had 2 years of the defense been rubbish. Fine. We're in no position to compete. We're in no position to give big dollar to free agents because it's not really going to do much to us. Look in year 3 now. We've got a lot of talented rookies on the defense. What's he gone and done? We've got a window for the NFC North this year. So what's he gone and done? He has gone and spent some money this year. He has bought in some corners for us. Yes, I know Mosley is injured, but Cam Sutton is in good form at the minute. He's adding veterans to this unit to go with all that young defense because he can see the opportunity for it to take a big stride at this point. These last 2 years, I don't want him spending big money on free agent guys. I can see the improvement this defense has made. I can see individually the vast strides some of these young players on our defense have made. I don't give a damn what their overall team defense has been these last 2 years because that's not been the point. The point is getting your building blocks in there, developing them, and then filling in the gaps around them. We have done that so far in free agency, and we are going to do it again in the draft. If we walk away with another DT, we walk in with another corner, we get another linebacker, you're looking very healthy for your future there, Luke. And that is the whole point of this. Rebuilds are not easy. It's not all about the team stats to start with. It's about the individual stats, getting the great guys in there and then building around it. And that is what Brad Holmes is doing now. It is.
And the big thing to think about, yes, our defense has been the worst unit. We only have one person re-signed from the Matt Patricia years, and that's Tracy Walker. There was one person worth keeping around. Well, he got hurt, so yeah. But like one real person that has actually had playing time on the defense from the Matt Patricia era. So we had 10 if we count Romeo, 9 positions to fill. That's really tough to do in 2 drafts. Now we're going to our 3rd draft. We're getting another chance to fill out that roster. And you know what? Next year,
ever
we
said
have
you do that. You fill 9 positions. That's, oh my God! This is okay. First of all, if you, I love how we like to move this. All right, nobody is saying that. You have 2 free agencies, correct? In 2 years, you get 2 free agencies. Am I right? No.
Yeah.
All right.
You're very right.
You get 2 drafts. Am I right?
Yeah.
How's the worst part of your team still the freaking defense? How come the least amount of money is going towards? Wait a minute. How come the least amount of money is going towards defense? How come I keep seeing quality picks and quality free agents being added to the offense, but meanwhile the defense keep getting neglected, and meanwhile we keep losing games because of the defense?
Because it's young glue. It's young glue. Your edge rushers, your primary edge rushers are your first year starting first round pick from last year, a 6th round pick that got cut, and a 2nd round pick that didn't start playing until halfway through the season. On your interior, your primary player is a 2nd year nose tackle, and that's it. It's a difficult position to get in and be able to work with. In your linebacker group, you're on the 2nd year 4th round pick, a 1st year 6th round pick. you know,
Well,
you
I'll
have
tell
got a
I'll tell you
lot
what,
of
this is what I'll do.
young.
Wait.
This is
Look,
what I'll do.
you're ignoring.
Wait a minute.
You're ignoring the
Let him finish.
fact.
Let him finish.
Okay.
Now, this is what I'll do. Per usual, like I said, I don't say things to be right. I say things to see how they age, right? I go about what I see. I'm honest about what I see, and we see how they age well, right? And if it aged well, it aged well. And if it don't, I come back and I say I was wrong. I have no problem to say any of those things. Now, to truth teller's point, I will say this. If he turns that around and he makes that a move with that 5th round pick that lends itself to turn into something else, and it's a good player, great. In my opinion, I don't want to see any trade ups because I believe you're in prime position to get whatever you want, and all you got to do is sit there. You don't got to do nothing. You ain't got to move. But the thing that I don't want to hear next year when the season starts, I don't want to hear conversations about the defense. I don't want to hear conversations about individual players that were brought in that many of you right now are defending, acting as if though that we have strong depth and only got to add a few more pieces. I don't want to hear that. And all I'm pointing out to all of the people who saying that this, I am not. I'll be the first to tell you again. I am not a Jeff Okudah fan. I am not a Jeff Okudah fan. I am not a Jeff Okudah fan for the hard of hearing. Those in the back, I am not a Jeff Okudah fan. But there's no way I'm going to be delusional enough to make it seem like we're better off with Will Harris. If Will Harris make the 53-man roster, great. If he don't, more dead cap space. Great. Because nobody seems to care about that, right? All we want to do is say that we're getting better because it feels good. And like per usual, I watch this every single time where we as a fan base get drawn into this thing and it doesn't work like that. That's all I'm pointing out. Now, to respond to Tactical Puma, you're blaming home for the damage done by the rocket scientists. No, I'm not. What I'm saying is if our general manager has come in and once the rocket scientist is out the door, he did his damage. It is what it is. And when he did that damage, those same people was all aboard on that same BS. In fact, those were the same people talking about we got to give him at least 3 years. And I am still on the record for saying his ass should have been fired in the first year. So again, that aged really well. My point I'm trying to make is I like having these shows where we have these conversations where they are open and divisive and stuff like that. I like having these because this gives us a chance to have oppositions and different points of views. But what I don't want people to get screwed or misunderstand is that, I'm team this. No. What I'm saying is we have kept players on this team with high price tags. You got a player who is about as average as they come. You got 2 of them with Emrod and Malcolm Ellis Anceloni. And I'm trying to tell you, I want a team that can win games. As long as this fan base, and this all is documented. It's all documented. As long as the fan base is willing to say, we're winning the division, we're winning the playoff game, I'm cool. If you don't believe that, then we got a problem. And I should not be hearing these conversations. Like Anthony openly on record said, yeah, we're winning the division and we're winning the playoff game. Love that. I want that confidence because last year we didn't get that. Not saying you didn't do that, Anthony. Anthony, you probably was a Kool-Aid pusher. You know, we was pushing that. No. We were pushing that. We pushing that hopium. I certainly was pushing hopium. I was pushing hopium.
This is the first time I've mentioned the P word since Holmes got here this year. the first year. I'm not saying you were saying
the P word was off limits.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that you were saying we're going to the playoff, but what I'm saying is you were like, look, this should be a really good team with a really good record. And then I remember each week that we were going in that first 1-6 record. I remember watching them. They were some of the best streams.
I got angry.
Nobody gets pissed off like Anthony. If you want some entertainment, go back and watch a Roar the Lions UK.
Please don't.
Video from weeks 1 through 6. Look at it's almost like watching an ice cube melt. You could just see it getting to the center of something mean, and Anthony was on his way. So I'm just saying
it was. But the first year I gave them a pass, and the second year I said I wanted to see them, and the second year I said I wanted to see them win games. So they've done everything I've asked of them so far. Year three is the year of the P word. It's either playoffs or I'm going to get paid. So it's going to be one or the other. Luke.
Oh,
so I'll be on with you next year. Playoff or petty.
You heard it here first. Now, listen, I want to let Troy get a few more words, and then we're going to get up out of here. Troy, what else you got for us before we get up out of here, man? Like I said, I want to have these conversations. Because at the end of the day, I had to take my victory lap earlier. I needed to do that because people love to tell me how wrong I am, but my shit be aging well. That's all I'm just saying. It aged well. It just does.
I mean, I think as Lions fans as a whole, we got to get out of this rebuilding mindset. We're in this constant, we need to think of the next 5 years. This guy's going to be good down the line. Like we're all saying it. We want to win playoffs this year. Like all the teams you see, the Super Bowl teams have like crazy depth. Like their backups are starters on other teams. You know what I mean? So we need to start thinking of here now. This is the team. We got to go for it. Like, we got to get out of the rebuilding mindset that we've been stuck in for.
I agree. This whole idea we're still doing this rebuild it disgusts me because so many other teams, and this is the thing that pissed me off this past season. Although I'm glad they finished a little bit stronger, but we realized why. But I felt like if I look up and the Vikings end up who was in the they was in the first year of their rebuild, but people say it wasn't a rebuild, it was a retooling. Okay, whatever. But you look at the Bears. If the Bears surpass us in their second year, and we are in year 3 of this rebuild, that's alarming to me. And I'm telling you, it's something interestingly happening when you look at the money spent on defense and where they rank in defense for real. It's strange. It's strange to me to see this. And so my thing is this: I'm always rooting for my team to be the best version of itself. I want no parts of this. I wouldn't have signed Nate Stubblefield. I wouldn't have signed Will Harris. I wouldn't have. But we did the same hype thing for Mike Hughes. Not saying you, Anthony, not saying that, but I saw a lot of people who hyped up Mike Hughes. I saw a lot of people who hyped up Desmond Trufant. I seen what's the other cornerback that we
no, Luke. None of us like Trufant. Come on, let's go back.
We
knew he was an injured croc.
Anthony, listen, you, me, I want to say it was you, me, and God, who was the other person? Snap. I'm trying to think what it was. We were like one of the few people who were like, this damn true fine hype, y'all tripping. But when I started putting polls out, I started polling the people. I was fairly shocked that people enjoyed it. Like they did, and I'm not making that up. They was like, he gonna do this, and I was like, oh okay. Like the same way how everybody, like when we got Dre Block finna turn Okudah into, and then now all of a sudden Okudah's gone, praise the Lord, he's out of here. Like I'm just telling you that it's happening, and I'm following these trends to where I'm keeping track of it. I just don't always show the receipts because I'm like, I'm trying my best not to be full patty. See, full patty Luke don't give a shit. He just be like, oh, okay, let's show all the receipts then. But I want the interaction. But I want people to understand you have to stand on what you say. And I don't have a problem being wrong. But I'm just telling you, from what I'm looking at, I'm not feeling overly confident about what the defense is going to be. And I'm not buying that just because they was rookies and they get a second year, they're going to be better. Okudah had 3 seasons. Did he get better when he went in the box? Yes. But at the cornerback position, no. And if he's on year 2? You're going into year 2 or 3? When is he going to get better? Levi hurt. So that's all I'm saying. I do want to get into the final thoughts because I do appreciate this. People coming in. Will, did I lose Will? No, wait, the screen just went out. Okay, Will, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, give the people your final thoughts for the day.
Enjoy yourselves, guys. We're what? Not even 3 weeks from the draft at this point, so it's smooth sailing and only 2 weeks and 2 days more of crazy ass discourse until that happens. So I look forward to it.
The Discord is gonna be crazy because in draft hit, it's finna hit. First of all, we got like a few instigators in the Discord that know how to hit the right button. So the Discord it's gonna be lit, especially on draft night because if they trade up, you're gonna have two different camps, and I'm gonna be in the camp of why in the hell are we doing this? That's the camp I'm in. I want no parts of a trade up, no parts of it. Right? I want to stay where I'm at and take what I want. It's going to be there for you all the way up until maybe the 3rd round. You just got to sit still. Just be patient. But Brad Holmes is impulsive. He's not going to be told he can't trade up this year if he wants to trade up, and if he wants to, he do. What I'm thinking is going to happen if he trades up and take a quarterback, I think a lot of y'all are going to be real pissed, especially if he ends up doing something where he ends up trading the 18th pick and the 6th pick to get a quarterback. You're going to be like, oh, this is bull. Why would you do this? So I'm just going to be like, whatever. Because anything he do is that fat Mrs. Instigator, who me? I'm not saying it is you. I'm just not saying it's not. But I'm just being funny. Troy, give the people your final thoughts.
First of all, Luke, I want to say thank you. This is my first time coming on. I've been wanting to come on for a while now. You know, I've been in the chat forever.
I know it's not, bro. It's nothing to fear. It's you just talking sports.
Exactly, and I appreciate how you have just all views. You welcome everyone, whether they oppose you or they agree, and you just welcome everything. And I think you're giving a really good voice to all Lions fans, so I really appreciate that.
No problem, man. That's what it's about. We should be able to have this agreement. Y'all can tell me I was wrong. They told me I was wrong about Okuda until I wasn't. Until I wasn't. But it happens.
And, okay, so One Pride Nation, I need you guys to rock with me. I started up this YouTube, Detroit Fan TV. I'm talking Lions, and I'm just trying to have fun with it and talk Lions just like I am right here, man. I'm trying to get into it, so show me some love, guys. I'm just getting activated, and
now you know what you got to do. You can't just do it like that. You gotta go. I gotta get the link in the description. You got to give me the link in the description because if we're gonna talk about it, I want to make sure that the people can know how to find you, right? So I want to make sure we do that. And again, for anybody who ever wants to jump into the YouTube, whether you're talking Lions, and hell, you ain't even got to be talking Lions. I have promoted people who have had businesses and were doing things, and I was like, hey, I promote it. I don't really care. I'm about the advancement of people. Like let's grow. Let's all grow and be great together. Like I don't see a reason why we all can't be great together. So yeah, but yeah, if you're going to talk about that channel, I need the link in the description because once I get the link, then what I can do is I can pin that thing to the top and give people a chance to go ahead and follow you. So you know what I mean. And then also, where's it at? Did I miss it?
I sent it in the chat.
I don't see nothing. Did anybody else see it? Did I miss it that quick? Now I know I ain't going crazy. What the hell? Wait a minute. I don't see no link.
Oh, you talking about this chat?
No, I'm talking about go to the YouTube video and put your channel link in there so I can pin it to the video. Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah, I want it to be like you know how the link to this was in there. I want to take that down and pin your channel there because I want people to be able to find the channel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to do that.
Now, while you're doing that, all you got to do is go to if you're doing it in your browser, copy the link on the top, and then you can post it in there. And it's Detroit Lions TV, right?
Detroit Fan TV.
Detroit Fan TV is the thing. And right now you at how many subscribers? 3, right?
I'm at 3, man. I'm at 3.
Yeah, it's 4 now. So I found it. I found it. I'll put it in the chat. I want people to go show some love. This is a supportive pride. I think that it needs to happen. But let me put this in here so y'all can have it. I'm going to take mine out and post his in. Boom. Let me take this off. I'm gonna unpin that, and I'm gonna go right here, and I'm gonna pin this. So if you're seeing this and it says YouTube.com and it says Detroit Fan TV, please show some love to Troy. Give him some attention. So let me answer this one question. I do want to hit this before we get up out here. Luke, would you draft Anderson at 6, trade Swift at 18, and a future third with Philly for Beijing? Yes. Yes. Because if I'm staying at 6, sure. I'll trade up from 18 to Philly at 10 if I'm coming out with Beijing and Anderson. But as I'm making first of all, let me shout out to my people, baby. I love this. My man Kool-Aid just subscribed. My man Dat Fan Man just, and I'm also gonna put this in the Discord too, so that way we can get them subs up. And if y'all didn't know, Roar the Lions UK, since they got they cool 1,000, they've been live streaming and living their best life over there, having all kind of fun. that 7th-round mock draft was so much needed. It was so needed. Also, what I'm going to do is I got a video coming out tomorrow. In my opinion, this prospect is the perfect Lion prospect for so many reasons, and I'm going to show you why in another film study. I'm also going to do another mock draft battle where you guys get to battle me for the mock draft. That's coming up real soon. And on top of that, I got a few other things coming down the pipeline and a few more videos. I'm trying to hit as many videos before the draft come. Anthony, give the people your final thoughts.
So 2 points I quickly want to hit on. First, thank you for today, Luke. I've very much enjoyed this. For anyone who may have watched us for the first time, may think that we absolutely hate one another, but Luke is my favorite person. Luke is my favorite person on the internet, and I absolutely love him to death because I know he's just as stubborn. He's just as stubborn as I am. So it's like arguing with myself, and that's why I love it. But right after this, I'm feeling like Luke's Smash Brothers character when he's playing against his son. I'm feeling beaten and bruised and in need of a rest.
I've been giving him the business lately in Smash Brothers. I found the player I can get down with. It took a while, but I have found if I play with Kirby and I play with Simus from Metroid, I'm seeming to do a little bit okay with them. Okay. It's when he play with like Donkey Kong that it gets real from. I'm like, man, what is this?
Well, I'm glad to hear you've got over that one, Luke. So yeah, but thank you.
I'm back. I'm practicing out here. He can't keep on beating me for long.
Well, you keep going with that. But yeah, again, thank you for this evening, Luke. I really do appreciate it. And the second thing I do quickly want to hit, Luke did mention that we hit 1,000 subs recently on Royal Lines UK. But I remember it must be about 2.5 years ago now when Luke first invited us onto this channel, and you were the first person over there, Luke, who sort of gave us any attention or anything, and you have done nothing but support us since the very beginning, and I'm incredibly grateful for it all. I didn't know one side of a microphone from another when I started doing this, and your forum has given me the confidence to go on to do what we're doing today. So I know I said it to you in Discord, but I just want to say you on here as well. You are amazing, and I appreciate all the work you have done for us. And I just love coming on and doing this with you. So
no, listen, thank you for that. I appreciate everything that y'all do at Royal Alliance UK. I remember the first video I saw too. It was so intriguing, right? Because the first video I saw, you guys were literally going through just talking about the Lions in general, and the amount of information that you knew, and I'm like, are they really in the UK? like, is this real? I started going back to the older videos, and I'm like, they really in the UK. And I'm like, how are they keeping up with all this stuff? And it was so impressive. And not only were you guys able to keep up with all the information, you were spot on. You were hitting on points that I'm like, yeah, I need people to talk about this. So without question, the first thing I did was I took the video and I pinned it in my community chat. I was like, I need support. I need y'all to help me help them grow because we need more of this. And then I was like, look, now I got to get them on. And I just started sending a bunch of messages like, I'm going to get them on. And once I did that, I was like, no, they're going to be mainstays. This is absolutely amazing. I remember our first interview, I asked, how did y'all become Lions fans? It was absolutely phenomenal. I just enjoy every bit of it. And I believe in giving people their flowers while we're still here. So y'all flowers were well-deserved. I'm praying for y'all to hit well over 15,000, surpass me, and run away with it, because I think what you do is absolutely phenomenal. I don't even know how, people don't realize the time zone jumps between the US and the UK and how consistent you guys are.
It's 20 past midnight here right now. So
yeah. You see what I'm saying? They'll never get it. And so to you, my hat's off to you, sir. So all the praise and stuff is because you guys earned it. You were the ones to do it. I do need to ask a question, and I'm probably going to put a poll up. I'm doing shorter videos for my film studies. If you haven't seen the Jack Campbell video, please do. And if you have, I want to know, is that long enough? Is that too long? Can it be shorter? Or would you prefer me to do it live, where I am able to show more details, more snap by snaps, and things that I'm saying? Because, the Jack Campbell conversation for me, I'm not feeling him in the second round no more. It's especially after I went through 3 seasons. It's just too much. I'm not feeling it. To me, the 3 things a linebacker must know how to do is get off blocks, if not avoid a block, and 2, tackle. You can't just be like, I've never seen somebody break down 15 yards away from a player. I just never seen this, and this is killing me softly. It's killing me softly. So yeah, I want to know what y'all think. Like, what do y'all want more of? And let me know. Now, you know me, I can't end the show unless it's on a positive note. And if you are still here with us, hopefully you've joined my man Troy up here and show him some love. You know what I mean? Hopefully that's done. But I can't end the show on a negative note, so I got to do it on a positive note. First of all, shout out to everybody who rocked with me. Shout out to everybody who allowed me to have my Patty moment. I appreciate you. Shout out to my guests, Anthony, Troy, D-Map Zooms, Detroit Lions Talk with John Kapler, Will, listen, y'all may think that me and Will hate each other, but this is why I love Will, because Will has no problem checking my ass. And I think he gets off on it. I'm not saying he gets a hard on, but I'm pretty sure he's pretty hard when he can check my ass. Will, would that be a fair statement?
No,
Will?
you just say wrong thing, so I gotta check it.
You just say wrong thing, so I gotta check it. I'm not mad. I ain't mad at all. All right, people, here's my positive quote. It's a very simple one. To build up, you must break down. To build up, you must break down. And I've come to some conclusions that some of us haven't fully went through the breakdown. And the reason we haven't went through the breakdown is because we're afraid of what comes after that breakdown. We are afraid of what the breakdown might do to us or what people might think of us if we go into the breakdown. But let me just tell you why the breakdown is important. The breakdown sets up the foundation for the buildup. And with a strong foundation, you become stronger. See, the building blocks wasn't set on just ground and dirt. No. See, they had to lay down a sheet that is going to be defined for years, a sheet that's going to withstand elements, that's going to withstand different temperatures. And when those temperatures get high, you can become a diamond. Or you can fold into those temperatures and become ash. But whatever it is that you're deciding to do, you need to get to the breakdown. Break it down. Get it out your way so you can build yourself up. Get stronger. Get smarter. Get faster in your movements. Make sure that the people who are around you are building bricks. See, when you start letting people come into your atmosphere who have no positivity for you, you fail to find your true meaning. You fail to see your true potential. You fail to reach the sky, which is not our ceiling. You need to break it down to the bare bones. Put people around you who move how you move. It should almost be robotic. They should breathe how you breathe, talk how you talk, and be able to provide some type of information to you that lifts you up. And when you don't have that, build up, when you don't have that surrounding supporting bricks, you start to notice that the foundation gets a little wobbly. It gets a little uncontrollable. And what it does is it reminds you that as great as you are, it only takes one bad moment to break you down. I'm asking that you break down the bad moments and get them completely out your way, because what you are building is greater than the castle. What you are building is greater than anything else. It is the only thing that you can stand on, and that is your self-foundation. And with that being said, people, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. Thank you for letting me be 100% Patty and having fun with this today. Thank you for everybody who disagreed with me, told me I was batshit crazy. This is what we need. We need more of it. I will be back at it again tomorrow with a film study. Fingers crossed, as long as they don't copyright me this time. Gotta be careful with this music. All right. As long as they don't copyright me, I'll be back at it again with another one. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, don't be no chump. Please do your research. We are out.